This is a Fox Sports presentation.
Wow, look at all these people. What a day. Me, Gus Frerotte, going up against the great John Elway. I wonder what he's thinking right now.
I can't believe I missed that putt yesterday.
He's the master. There's so much I can learn from him, like how to read defenses, how to throw on the run. He's probably visualizing the whole game right now.
Boy, Seinfeld sure was funny this week.
All the great comebacks he's had, all those fourth-quarter miracles. He's a lock for the Hall of Fame, and it sure was nice of him to spend so much time talking to me this morning.
Gee, that Heath Schuler's a nice kid. I'm glad I talked to him this morning.
On John Elway this afternoon as we welcome you to Mile High Stadium, the 198th consecutive sellout as the Washington Redskins engage the Denver Broncos in an inter-conference NFL game. Hello again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton along with Matt Millen. The Redskins are 1-1, but feeling good about themselves at 1-1 despite the loss to the Raiders, and they have good reason. Gus Frerotte has really done a great job backing up Schuler, who's hurt. Michael Westbrook comes back to Colorado as a rookie wide receiver. They've got some weapons.
Yeah, and aside all those weapons, the other thing they have is confidence. I think it starts with Norv Turner, works right down through the entire lineup, and the whole thing really starts with the quarterback, Gus Frerotte. Now, he knows he's got himself a running game. That helps Frerotte. But when I watch him, the thing that's so plain to see is he has great poise. He must have had great coaching coming up. He understands his position, and he knows this is his team. So he's going to do nothing but get better.
On the other side of the ball, the Redskins had doubts. Tom Carter, the outstanding cornerback who had been playing well, suffered a strained hamstring. Didn't look like he was going to play, but he tested it before the game, and lo and behold, Tom Carter will be in the starting lineup for the Redskins. What does that mean?
Well, that's good and bad news. You know, the guy has the hamstring, so sometimes what that does, it gets in your head. And so if he goes out there and he starts to play and he thinks he has a little bit of a doubt in his mind, that hurts them. So what they're going to do is they're going to spot play him. And what they'll do is they'll have to roll their coverage to him, which means Darrell Green is going to get a lot of play on the other side. Don't forget, you know John Elway knows there's a hamstring out there.
The Broncos feel good about themselves as well at a 1-1 record despite their loss to Dallas. Put 21 points on the board. And when you have John Elway, Shannon Sharp, one of the top receivers in the game, they've got a lot of weapons.
Yeah, and they also have Anthony Miller back outside, so that gives them the deep speed. And you always have John Elway. You know, what does that mean? Well, Elway can beat you from anywhere on the field. He always could. But the thing that's impressive about him right now is he really doesn't have this system down. Now, once he clicks with this system and everybody gets on the same page, they're going to put a lot of points on the board.
And the Broncos are hopeful about the defense, which they feel have improved. Well, we'll see what happens today here in Denver, Colorado. It'll be the Redskins and the Broncos in the start of the game coming up after these messages.
Clean, cold, fresh. Over a century ago, our beers were inspired by water that falls as snow up here in the winter and rushes down Rocky Mountain streams in the spring. These days, we like to remember all that with a little picture right in the center of our label.
Back at Mile High Stadium, and we'll bring you up to date on some of the early games in the National Football League on this third weekend. The Packers have defeated the Giants. That's a final score, 14-6. Oakland and Kansas City tied in the waning moments, although Kansas City is threatening. San Diego leading Philadelphia by less than a touchdown, and St. Louis on its way to its third straight win. The Lions trying to win their first game. The Cleveland Browns with a one-touchdown lead over the Houston Oilers. As you would expect, Atlanta, New Orleans battling down to the wire at the Superdome, and the Buffalo Bills over the Indianapolis Colts in the fourth quarter, 20-14. A splendid day for football, 87 degrees. It is partly cloudy and not much of a wind. And a little bit of an edge, some psyching done by the Broncos when the Redskins went into their dressing room.
I think that is absolutely hilarious. You know, you're up here a mile high, and that really doesn't mean too much. But when you walk into the Redskin or the visiting locker room, the Broncos gave you a little bit of a reminder. They're saying, look, we're 5,280 feet up here in the air, and don't you forget about it.
Every little bit of an edge couldn't help.
I think the hilarious thing is, you know, I walked in the locker room, the first thing, guys like Jim Lachey and the linemen are going, hey, cover that up. I don't want the young guys to see that.
Glenn Milburn is back to receive the kickoff from Eddie Murray, and we're underway. It is a short kick, and Milburn at the goal line returns for Denver. And he is run down short of the 25-yard line, and so the Broncos get their hands on the ball first. John Elway, who has a 1-1 record against the Redskins in regular season, but he's lost to them in the Super Bowl. The 35-year-old veteran will have this offensive front, and Elway looking for one more shot at a Super Bowl. Mark Schlereth at left guard, the former Redskin. Broderick Thompson, the ex-Eagle. Terrell Davis, an impressive rookie from Georgia at running back, and outstanding wide receivers. Starting from the 23-yard line and passing on first down is Elway up the middle, and the pass is complete to Bernstein. And the former San Diego Charger, Bernstein, with a gain of 4. The defensive line for the Redskins: Palmer, Johnson, Boutte, and Woods, and they're still looking for a pass rush up front. Marcus Patton, who's played well, Rod Stevens in the middle, and Ken Harvey. And there you see Tom Carter in a starting role, and the safeties that came over, including Stanley Richard and James Washington. Second down and 6. Screen pass off the hands of Davis, and that'll bring up third down.
You know, Dick, we talked about this at the start of this whole game, is where is John Elway with this offense? You know, it's interesting to me because, you know, you look in Philadelphia and everybody's been dogging Randall Cunningham, but when you watch Elway and Cunningham, you really see kind of the same thing going on. They really are not in sync. I think the difference right now is that Elway will hit the wide open guy every time, and Cunningham sometimes has a problem.
Ed McCaffrey has come in as a third wide out, third down and 6. Elway's pass to Anthony Miller, trying to get to the sticks, and he did not get out of bounds. The clock still runs. They may have a first down, however.
But a nice test right there for Tom Carter, and you know that Elway's going to find, like I said, he's going to find that hamstring. So you got a matchup right here. Anthony Miller on Tom Carter is going to drive him off. This is a good job. You know, this is a nice job of football and playing corner by Carter. And he's also testing the hamstring to see exactly where it is.
First down for the Broncos, short of the 35-yard line. Carter has come on big time, an important man supporting Darrell Green at the other corner. Elway swings it out to Shannon Sharp, and a minimal gain, and a fine play made by the strong safety, James Washington.
You know, when you watch this Redskin defense, you know that, you know, they're having some problems up front. But the one place that they're not having problems is in their secondary. And I think James Washington is a really big part of that. First of all, I think Tom Carter is playing outstanding. And I think what happened was that James Washington took Tom Carter and said, "You're my project." And he said it from the first day of training camp. And it looks like his experiment has really worked because Carter's playing very well.
Second and 8. Elway to the air, and he's got Mike Pritchard, who should have made the catch. He was between 2 defenders. And Pritchard, who has his season curtailed with a lacerated kidney last year and part of a great force of receivers, was covered by Darrell Green and Tony Woods, the lineman.
You know, Dick, we talked about the altitude and how that affects the game. And, you know, it's been talked about so many times, but I know from playing here that there's usually a wall that you hit in about the middle of the first quarter, and it lasts through the middle of the second quarter. And if you can hang in there and get through that, then you'll play yourself a pretty good football game. But if you let it get away from you, that's usually the time that it kills you.
Darrell Green said he had a run. He got a little winded. Second time out, he felt better. And on the third down and long, the Broncos used their first timeout early here in the first quarter, the opening drive of the game. Turner, who was hoping for a win last week as the Redskins had 3 great chances to score and didn't. Meanwhile, the Broncos have held the ball since the start of this game, and all 5 plays have been pass plays, as will this on third down and 8, you would figure.
Yeah, well, don't forget, Shanahan scripts the first 15, so this is all part of the plan.
Out of the shotgun is Elway.
Yeah, there's the first.
And a shuffle pass, and Glenn Milburn is going to be stuffed. That did not fool anyone, including Tim Johnson.
Yeah, so, nice job by Marcus Patton. What they happened, they had man underneath, and he read it perfectly all the way. And they were going to go with the old shuffle pass underneath. You're going to watch Milburn right here. and Patton has him. He's going to come in a blitz, and he sees him. Boom. See that? That's an absolutely perfect play. He makes the play. Johnson makes the tackle.
Tom Ruin has gotten off to a terrific start, leading the NFL in punting average. And one of the great threats in the league, Brian Mitchell, to return. Mitchell with a fair catch. And he makes the catch at the 17-yard line. And that's where the Redskins will get their chance on offense for the first time. Gone by, and Denver having to punt. And now Gus Frerotte is making his 6th NFL start. 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Vernis Smith is the center, and John Giesick at right guard with Trey Johnson out of action. Allen, Logan, Westbrook, Ellard, and Galbraith, although 2 tight ends come out for the Redskins here on first down on the 17. Allen and Logan in the I formation, and a play action pass on first down, and it's caught by Ellard out of bounds, and a first down beyond the 30-yard line, and a gain of 15 on the first play with Ray Crockett covering. Defensively for the Denver Broncos, and that's where they feel they're most improved. Shane Dronett continues to start in place of Michael Dean Perry, who had arthroscopic surgery on his knee. Hager and Jones, former NFC players, and Washington, Atwater, Braxton, and Crockett make up the secondary, and a veteran secondary indeed. On the 32, Terry Allen, not letting those legs start churning, picks up good yardage and a gain of 6.
Well, you know, you talk around the league to different guys, and they bring up Washington. The first guy they want to talk about is Gus Frerotte. And it's interesting because when he was a rookie last year, I saw Sonny Jurgensen at practice. Sonny said, you know, you watch that number 12. That kid has got poise. And you know what? That is the difference with Gus Frerotte. He knows the system, and he feels comfortable throwing the ball.
Gus Mania is swamping the D.C. area, isn't it? 2nd and 4, the quick toss to Coleman Bell. Bell holding on to the ball, may have enough for the first down, and it appears that he does. Steve Atwater, the 5-time Pro Bowl strong safety, making the stop.
Well, Dick, when you look at this Denver defense, you always thought of Denver, you say, that they're too small up front. But now, you know, they have some size. Dan Williams gives them size, James Jones, of course, Michael Dean Perry, who's out right now. But now where they need some help is in that secondary. You know, they have Atwater back there, but the corners right now, Lionel Washington playing pretty good. I expect them to go after Ray Crockett a lot today.
On the 44 of the Redskins. And Terry Allen looking off something on the right side, and he picks up about 2 or 3. Britt Hager, who is a fine special teams player and a backup in the Philadelphia Eagles defensive scheme, on the stop.
Yeah, but that's a good player waiting to happen right there, Britt Hager. Now, there's a guy who's not real big. He's an undersized guy. But he's got great instincts. He kind of reminds me of Kurt Gavea, who was with Washington, who is now in Philadelphia. They both play the same kind of game. They read things, react real quick. His key is he's got to stay healthy because he'll get beat up as the year goes on.
2nd down and 7 on the Redskin 47. Swing pass to Terry Allen, but he can't hold on to it. And that will bring up 3rd down for the Redskins, who have dropped 4 straight games to AFC West opponents, including last week at RFK Stadium to the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, and you look at that game last week in Oakland. That was a very, very winnable game for the Redskin team. I mean, they came out there, should have had 21 points in the first half, and they didn't get it. See, Lachey don't get it right now. He's over holding that shoulder. I'll tell you right now, he's got a real bad rotator cuff on the right side. Looks like that's bugging him again.
It'll be 3rd down and 7 on the 47. 4 wide receivers, including Leslie Shepard. Frerotte steps up in his pass to Coleman Bell, and he makes the reception, and a first down into Bronco territory. A bullet thrown by Frerotte, a 19-yard gain. Atwater, the free safety, on the tackle.
Watch Gus Frerotte. See this right in here? See, he knows where he has to be. Stays right in the middle of that center of that pocket. Steps right up, waits, has the patience for Bell to come open. And once he clears Alexander, the ball's right there. I mean, that, to me, that shows very good upbringing in the quarterback system. That means he had very good coaching out of college.
We saw him in the films against tough pressure, hang in there against the rush against the Raiders. On the 34-yard line, and a flea flicker.
He's got Westbrook.
And here's Westbrook, and Westbrook makes the catch inside the 10-yard line. Brian Mitchell came in the game. And, you know, he can throw as a former college quarterback and flip back to Frerotte and a 26-yard gain, and the Redskins are inside the 10.
Here's what they do. They come this way, throw the ball back, they take him, and they go right across the field. The key to this is right here. See, you've got to be able to hold people out, because this is a long time to develop. You got to bring that guy all the way across the field.
It'll be 1st and goal at the 8. Joe Patton has replaced Lachey, who went out. You saw it, left tackle. And the give is to Terry Allen. Britt Hager, the tackle, and no gain. The red zone has been a big problem for the Redskins this year. Last week they were inside the 25 times, only 1 field goal. They managed only 1 touchdown in 9 chances inside the 20, and that's near the bottom of the league.
Well, what you have to do, Dick, is you got to throw into the end zone. You know, last week they were down here. They tried to screen pass outside and a little swing. You got to take your shot into the end zone, and I expect them to do that right here.
Mitchell is in the slot, and the give on the wide spread is to Allen, and Allen is going to get maybe a yard or 2. Dante Jones, the middle linebacker, made the tackle, and that will bring up 3rd down and goal.
That's a good job by that Denver defense of reading their keys. This is basic football. You spread everybody wide out, and you keep one back offset. He only has 1 or 2 ways, actually 2 ways to go. Either a straight dive or across the backfield. And that time, you read your keys, took you right to it.
Greg Robinson, the new defensive coordinator for the Broncos, came over from the Jets. It'll be 3rd and goal at the 7. 10th play of the drive coming up. Ferrotte's going to throw, and he goes underneath to Leslie Shepard, and he'll be stopped at the 2, but a flag is down back at the line of scrimmage.
I think that's what I'm talking about. See, you got to throw to the end zone. You can't take your chances underneath, because they're flooding everything with the zone, and they're forcing you to throw underneath, so you have to try to take your shot into the end zone.
Ron Blum, our referee.
That's actually a plus right now for the Redskins. You get a little bit more field, and you get another shot to go into the end zone.
I was going to say, Matt, how many teams are successful in throwing into the end zone when they get that close to scoring?
Yeah, because everything shrinks, and then you can really play your matchup zones and all that down here. And what you have to do, you almost have to go to a man concept, so you start to throw a little bit more offensively. You start to throw a little bit more picks and that kind of thing.
Westbrook goes out, and Titus Winans, who has yet to catch a pass, is in the game. 3rd down and goal on the 12, following the 5-yard penalty. Frerotte with time. He throws incomplete.
They misread that one. Henry Ellard broke in. Frerotte was expecting him to go out.
And Mitchell was the closest receiver. That'll bring up 4th down. So once again, the Redskins struggle inside the red zone.
Now watch, they're going to take him, bring him back inside. Then they're going to have Ellard go. Now, Frerotte thinks the ball's coming out here, but he stops and posts back inside, expecting the in route, and it's not there.
Eddie Murray last week missed a field goal inside the 40, breaking a string of 28 in a row. This will be a 30-yard attempt with Frerotte holding. And the kick hits the upright and bounces down. It's no good. And there might have been a problem on the snap to Frerotte. This one hits the right crossbar of the upright and takes a Denver bounce down. No score. The ball once, and the Redskins came the closest to scoring, missing a field goal that hit the upright. And in the game, Scott Turner, the 7th-round rookie out of Illinois. And as you mentioned, Matt, the Redskins are not going to go very long if one stance with Tom Carter today. 1st down on the 20-yard line. And the give is to Rod Bernstein. And the fullback carries it out to about the 25-yard line. Stanley Richard, the free safety.
Well, you get that rook out there, so you're going to go after him right away. And what you're going to do is you can put Anthony Miller on him and just stalk him. And then you just got to hold your ground. See, so they get in your head. They say, all right, we're going to come at you. And all they're doing is they want him to be a magnet and stay at the line of scrimmage, because the next step is for Anthony Miller to go up on him.
2nd and 5 on the 25. And the Redskins have gone to their bench on the defensive line. There's the handoff to the rookie Terrell Davis, and he doesn't get much. Rod Stevens on the tackle.
Yeah, that was a nice read by Rod Stevens, and this is what he has to do more of. I think what happened is Rod Stevens is still filling out this scheme also. Remember, they got him in the offseason from Seattle. And in this league, you cannot waste opportunities. When something opens up in front of you, man, you got to hit that 100 miles an hour. That time he did.
Shoulder injury to Jim Lachey, and he is not expected to return to the game. It'll be 3rd down and 4. William Gaines and Mike Flores are on the defensive line for the Redskins. Elway's pass complete to Ed McCaffrey, and McCaffrey will get a 1st down. Very valuable 3rd wide receiver who had played with the Giants and last year with the world champion 49ers.
And a very well-conceived play by Shanahan's offense. What they do is they run everybody up outside, trying to create a void in the middle of the defense. And then you take McCaffrey, you just run him right inside.
First down on the Broncos 37. No score. 5 minutes to go. First quarter. Up the middle, and the pass is caught by Anthony Miller, who had 3 touchdown catches last week against the Cowboys and a gain of 4. Marcus Patton defending.
Well, Anthony Miller is a very, very valuable guy in this offense. I mean, he's the guy who represents your deep speed, and he can get by anybody. In fact, you know, talking to the coaches yesterday, he said they don't even know. Anthony Miller doesn't even know how fast or how good he is. He's one of those guys who just goes out there and plays and plays and plays. He makes big plays and doesn't even know he's capable of it every time.
2nd down and 6. And the give is to Glenn Milburn. Milburn, who had a lot of his thunder stolen by Terrell Davis.
Boy, I'll tell you, Mike Pritchard made a really good play outside, blocking on the backer. Now here's a guy, wide receiver, not a real big guy. He knows the ball's coming his way. They're going to go outside. Right in the left side of your screen, you're going to watch 81. He's right there on Ken Harvey. And he took him out, and that allowed Milburn to get to the corner to set up the 3rd and 1.
On the 46-yard line of the Broncos, there's Pritchard, former Atlanta Falcon. A lot of weapons at John Elway's command. Bernstein in motion and a quarterback sneak. 1st down into Redskin territory. Elway. And a 7-yard pickup.
Yeah, this is vintage Elway. See what they do? They motion to back out of here, so now there's nobody there, and all Elway does is he waits for this guy to loosen up, Stevens, and then he just runs where no one is. He just takes a step and then just runs right to the hole.
Elway was the Broncos' 2nd leading rusher last season. And Denver with a 1st down, again with 3 wide receivers on the 47 of the Redskins. No score, 1st quarter. Here's Terrell Davis, and he's going to be stopped by Mike Flores. So Norv Turner told us last night, Matt, that Flores and William Gaines, who came over from Miami, will see a lot more action. With the altitude, I guess you would rotate the defensive lineman a great deal.
Yeah, plus I think you get Mike Flores in. He's played in the league. He understands how to play. You're not going to fool him. You know, a play like that where Terrell Davis tries to bounce it outside, Flores has the presence to stay and hold the outside.
Davis comes out, and Glenn Milburn checks in on 2nd and 11. Milburn lined up in the slot. Elway is going to run again. And Elway may have a 1st down right at the sticks inside the 40-yard line. Stanley Richard makes the tackle, and the Broncos, Shannon Sharpe is shaken up.
Well, they have him inside at the tight end position. He's really just a big wide receiver. And they run, he's just going to go. And remember, his ankle is really messed up. And Rod Stevens gives him a little bit of help to get that ankle hurt even more. Watch, it comes off, and it's just a simple move. But watch Rod Stevens. You're allowed to get the jam on 5 yards. You give him the push. And something went there.
That's a tough loss. Shannon Sharpe, who caught 10 passes in the opening game against the Buffalo Bills and is 2nd in the AFC after 2 weeks in receiving, and has been the favorite target. Miller caught 3 touchdown passes against the Cowboys, but Sharpe has been the favorite target the last couple of years for Elway. We have a timeout on the field. The Broncos will have a first down when we come back. 2:18 remaining in the first. Twisted ankle and is going to the bench. And Jerry Evans will replace him at tight end. It'll be a first down for the Broncos on the Redskin 37. No score with 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Elway overthrows Lynn Milburn, and that'll bring up second down. Good pressure on Elway. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Dick, that's not a typical Raider Kansas City game, nothing is. Those things are always battles. A lot of fun to play in, too.
2nd and 10 at the 37. This is the 10th play. Flag down. One of the Redskins might have been guilty of encroachment. By the way, Shannon Sharp with a twisted ankle, not sure whether he'll return. Ron Blum indicating that the penalty is against the Redskins. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 5.
Offside defense. No number reported. 5 yards. Repeat second down.
Took his number off before he encroached.
Got down on the ground real quick. Can't get me. But I guarantee he knows who it is. And he'll point it out in those tapes tomorrow. Nothing kills a drive or a coach more than those mistakes. Especially when the ball's right in front of you. You go, how the heck can you miss the thing? It's right there.
2nd and 5, especially when the Broncos are driving on the 32. Looks like Davis and Bernstein not sure of their position to line up. They got back. Elway's pass is caught by Pritchard. And that'll be another first down to the 20-yard line.
Boy,
Darryl Green.
Yeah, this is all Elway. Watch what they do. They're going to take Washington and walk him up to an 8-man front. So that opens this area right open. And so all they do is they just take Pritchard and they run him right behind him. See how they hold underneath right here? And then Pritchard comes in behind on Darryl Green, and they just run to the void.
First down for the Broncos. Tom Carter back in at cornerback for the Redskins. Defending against Anthony Miller. This will be a rollout. Elway's pass to Pritchard, and a fine defensive play made by Ken Harvey. He hasn't been able to get to the quarterback as much as he'd like this year, but he pursued well, and a loss of 1.
That was nice. That was a good job of Harvey of reading everything. It looked like they were in man down below, and then they tried to sneak Pritchard down. Now he's going to come. Watch Harvey, number 57, right over here. See, now he's eyeballing the whole thing. See how he tries to sneak him out? Sees it the whole time, stays with his coverage. That's very good patience by the backer.
Ken Harvey, who had 13.5 sacks last year, and only 1 sack so far by the Redskin defense in 2 games. 2nd and 12. Bernstein. And Bernstein gets about 3 or 4 yards. James Washington making the tackle, and he had Gary Zimmerman blocking in front of him.
You see Mike Pritchard. Mike Pritchard thinks he's a linebacker out there. He's trying to lay people out. But you can see he's shaking his hands. Hey, it hurts when you got to do that. The thing, hey, what separates the men from the boys in this league is when they call your number to block, you got to do this. And you put Marcus Patton on your back. That's a great job by Mike Pritchard.
End of the first quarter, scoreless in Denver Stadium, and want to remind you that this game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Denver Broncos and the National Football League is prohibited.
Okay, man.
3rd down and 8 at the 17. Evans, the tight end in motion. Elway's pass underneath to McCaffrey. Breaks 1. Good move by McCaffrey, and he has a first down inside the 5. Green finally made the stop, but the Broncos are threatening to score after a gain of 13 yards.
Well, sometimes you get a guy like Ed McCaffrey and you say, well, you know, he runs very well. He's fast. But you look at him and you say, boy, there's nothing really special. I'll tell you what's special about him. He knows how to play the game. He can read things real quick. He'll get down the field. He's a valuable guy after the ball. He's really upgraded the talent on this Denver team.
Like a Tom Waddle or a Brian Brennan?
Yeah, actually, he's a step above those guys.
14th play of the drive. 1st and goal at the 4. Rod Bernstein runs into a brick wall and is thrown back, led by Rod Stevens, the middle linebacker.
Well, where they wanted to improve themselves, the Denver Bronco offense is in the offensive line. Traditionally, they've never really had strong offensive lines. But I think they helped themselves this offseason by picking up a guy, Mark Schlereth, who the Washington Redskins got rid of. And Schlereth and Tom Nail in the center are playing very, very well. Last week against Dallas, they did things to Leon Lett that I haven't seen guys do.
Jamie Brown in a tackle, and Gary Zimmerman is in the tight end spot at 2nd and goal on the 3. Terrell Davis goes in motion. Elway rolling out, being chased, and throws it away. Good move. Tony Woods put the pressure on. Aaron Craver came in the game as a receiver, but he was well covered by the Redskins secondary.
Actually, what's happened right now is the Redskins have done a pretty good job of forcing 3rd down. They just haven't been able to shut them down on 3rd down. And when you talk to Ron Turner, Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator for the Skins, he wanted to get him in 3rd down, but he said we've got to do a better job because they haven't been.
3rd and goal at the 3. Wide receivers 2 to the left. Elway, nowhere to go with it. Now he overthrows again, and you've got to credit the Redskins defense in making life miserable for John Elway in the red zone. Anthony Miller was the intended receiver, but Darrell Green comes out of the pack limping.
Well, he's looking right away for the tight end to get out in the flat. See, and then they also ran Bernstein. He was looking for him right away, and then option number 3 is Anthony Miller up in the corner. But this is a great job of defense all the way around. Again, they shrink the zone. It's tough to throw in it.
21-yard field goal attempt by Jason Elam is good. And Elam gives the Broncos a lead after Eddie Murray missed the field goal in the 1st quarter for the Redskins. Dick Stockton and Matt Millen, the Broncos, with a 17-play drive that consumed 8.5 minutes. And Jason Elam, in what is recorded as a 20-yard field goal, will be kicking off now. Brian Mitchell back deep with William Bell. 3-0 in favor of the Broncos, and Mitchell with a chance to return it here at the 12-yard line, or at the 7. Brian Mitchell, one of the big threats of the league. And he carried 2 or 3 Broncos beyond the 40-yard line before Eric Thomas, the ex-Jet, finally made the tackle, and a gain of 36 on the return.
And the thing, you get a guy like, see, Matt Vanderbeek, number 91. You put him in the wedge, and you have to make blocks. You know, Mitchell doesn't go anywhere unless you block somebody. And that's how you block somebody. You take Rivers, you knock him right out of there. That opens the lane. And then I'll tell you, Mitchell, who's a fast guy, you forget about the size of him. And you get a guy like Vanderbeek who's blocking in that thing, open the thing wide open.
4th time this year that Mitchell has returned to kickoff 30 or more yards. Good field position. Terry Allen on the carry, finds a hole off the right side, and is close to a 1st down into Bronco territory. Dante Jones making the stop.
Well, we showed you Mike Pritchard and what he can do when he's blocking. You know, now it's the rookie's turn. So now you take Ray Crockett and you stay on him. He got away with a little bit of a hold right there, but he did a good job of coming back. The thing with Michael Pritchard, with Michael Westbrook rather, is the fact that he does not understand the whole scheme yet. And you know, last time they were down inside the 20, they pulled him out, and I got to think that the reason is they don't want to risk him making a mental error, lining up in the wrong place or going the wrong way.
It's that close. I'll tell you, there's no question in talking to the Bronco coaches about what kind of a player they think Michael Westbrook will be.
Well, everybody's been talking about him, and it's easy to see why. He's got big playability all over the place. What he doesn't have is a real understanding of where to go, where to line up, you know, all the formations, all the different ways you're blocking up front. That all affects what you're doing as a receiver. And when he gets that stuff down, which is common for a rookie, when he gets that stuff down, he's going to be really special.
2nd and inches. Westbrook slowed up on a pass pattern last week that should have been a touchdown against the Raiders. But he'll get a lot of those.
Yeah, the other thing he has to do is not look at the quarterback. He's got to look for the ball.
Mark Logan and Terry Allen the backs. Ellard in motion. And the handoff is to the fullback, Logan. And Logan appears to have gotten the yardage, but not by much. And it is a 1st down for the Redskins, who trail 3-0 Denver Broncos, who started last year 0-4 en route to a 7-9 season under Wade Phillips, trying to go up 2-1 on the year. First down.
Yeah, Brian Mitchell is in the game. Anytime he's in, something good's going to happen.
And a play fake. And the pass to Westbrook. And Michael Westbrook has a first down on a slant pattern. Atwater the tackle. And a gain of 19 yards to the rookie from Colorado.
Well, the first thing you're going to see is the time to throw. They go with the play action that holds the linebackers. They run the back out in the flat. And then all this does is it opens up inside. Westbrook working man-to-man on Lionel Washington. You pull your underneath coverage up, and you run your wide receiver right inside. Also see there's a flag down on the far sideline.
We do not hear the referee's mic, but they did not have enough men on the line of scrimmage. 6 men on the line, and that is going to nullify that play.
Remember, week 1, they didn't have enough guys in the line of scrimmage, and it was Michael Westbrook didn't line up there.
19-yard pass play is nullified, and you want to talk about Norv Turner being upset over a penalty. How about this one? 1st and 15. Terry Allen trying to turn the corner. Westbrook blocked it, and he'll have a first down. Allen with some good running, and the rookie blocking downfield. Atwater ran him out of bounds, and a pickup of 16.
Well, it all started up front, and then Mark Logan got into it, and they just blew the left side of that defensive line right off. And Scott Galbraith got in there, and then Logan comes around. You're going to watch right on the left side. Patton comes off the ball. Ray Brown. Watch Giesick with the block. See the block right there by Logan on Britt Hager. And then Michael Westbrook gets in the act and gives him just enough to get that first down.
So instead of the 19 nullified, they got 16 on the play. First down on the 36. And the give is to Brian Mitchell. Mitchell may go all the way. 1 man to beat. And it's a touchdown for the Redskins.
Dick, that was an option. That was an option play.
Brian Mitchell, always a threat to throw, held the ball up as if he might, and that might have delayed the defense just enough for him to run 36 yards for a touchdown.
That's exactly what this play was. 21, Terry Allen is going to be the pitch man, and then here comes the old quarterback, Brian Mitchell. See, they're just optioning off the end man, and look at that. He gives the fake, and that does a great job on Atwater. Hold him outside. Remember, I just said anytime Brian Mitchell is in the game, something big is going to happen.
And the Bronco coaches told you before the game that they were worried about number 30. That is the longest rush of Brian Mitchell's career, 36 yards. Eddie Murray with the point after, and the kick is good. And the Redskins take a 7-3 lead early here in the second quarter.
Looking right back here, there's the pitch. Now watch at the end. See the fake? Atwater makes him turn him completely around, freezes him, and then you forget how big of a man Brian Mitchell is. He just runs right through Braxton.
How improved has the Redskins running attack been this season? Last year they only had 4 rushes, 20 or more yards. They've already exceeded that. This was the 5th, and granted there were a couple of end arounds by wide receivers, but the running game has vastly improved for the Redskins. Eddie Murray kicking off to Glenn Milburn inside the 5. Milburn returning for the Broncos. And he carries it past the 25 where Derek Brownlow makes the stop.
You can see Atwater down here. Here's the key. See, the tailback, who is Terry Allen, he's got to maintain a relationship when they come around the corner, or else it doesn't make a difference if he fakes it or not. So he stays with it. See, as long as he's there, see, he gives the fake, and that's when Atwater gets faked out, and then Mitchell can take it in. But because Terry Allen stays with it, Mitchell can do the fake. You know, and the thing is, Mitchell goes 36 yards, then he sprinted to the oxygen tank and sucked on it.
And why not with the altitude? First down on the 27-yard line on the draw play. Terrell Davis. Davis leading the Broncos in rushing. He gained 70 yards in the opening game against the Bills and 61 more against the Cowboys last week.
Well, the thing that impressed me, you know, when I first heard his name, Terrell Davis, I said, well, that's got to be a little guy because Terrell sounds small. You know, automatically you think he's going to be like 100,
back, right?
Yeah, 175, 180 pounds. And you see he's a 200, 205 pounder. He's got some good legs on him, and he runs more like a Brockington than a Terrell.
A big Brockington. 2nd and 3. And on the fake reverse, Elway keeps it, and he has a man wide open downfield, and the pass caught by Rod Bernstein. He beat the linebacker Harvey downfield. And a big gain for the Broncos, their biggest of the contest, a 38-yard pickup to Bernstein.
Boy, is that great football. They're going to take Rod Bernstein. They're going to send him down. They have man coverage underneath on the backer, and they're going to just run him. See this? Harvey sees him. The safety has to honor that. Actually, I'll tell you, a great throw, but a tremendous job by Ken Harvey of getting back there, because that looked like it had 6 all over it.
Oh, Matt, we had a scoreless first quarter, but this has all the indications of a wide-open shootout at this point. First down, and the give is to Terrell Davis. And Davis, with his best run of the day, gets to the 20-yard line, where Scott Turner makes the tackle and a gain of 9 yards.
Well, remember in the first quarter, they threw all the short stuff underneath, and you knew it was just a matter of time before they start going up. And when you start stretching things, then that opens your running game underneath. A nice tackle there by Scott Turner.
And good news for the Broncos. X-rays on Shannon Sharp's twisted ankle are negative. Not sure whether he'll be back. Second down and 1 on the 19 of the Redskins. On the delay. And close to the first down is Davis. He signals, helping the official with the call. Tim Johnson making the tackle on Davis, who follows a long line of fine Georgia running backs, and Herschel Walker and Rodney Hampton and Garrison Hurst. 196th pick for the Broncos. They didn't have a draft choice until the 4th round. First down on the 17. Play fake. Elway being rushed and throws it away. Jerry Evans was the intended receiver.
Nice job by Ken Harvey. He read that thing all the way. You got a couple of keys. First of all, they run the backfield action away from you, and then the tight end is not trying to block you. Ken Harvey recognized it right away, so he just latched right on the coverage. Ken Harvey, I don't think he had a real good game last week, but that's a real good football player. The guy who can rush, he plays hard all the time. And he's a very complete, what he's done, he's fulfilled the role that Wilbur Marshall had a couple years ago, where you just do everything.
Second and 10. Miller in motion. Elway with time, drills it, and it's caught by Jerry Evans inside the 10-yard line. So Evans forced into the tight end spot with Shannon Sharp out of the game, tackled by James Washington, and a gain of 9 or 10, close to another first down.
Well, the thing that impresses me here is the way how fast this ball gets you. I mean, that's a hole in the chest if it hits you there, but Jerry Evans had to catch that thing with his hands. I mean, as a receiver, you got to think this is going to hurt when a ball like that is coming at you from Elway.
First and goal on the 6 of the Redskins. Draw play to Davis off the left side. Terrell Davis to the 1.
So he didn't run like a Terrell there. He ran like a big back. The hole closed quick, and then he bounces it back outside. And again, I think what we're seeing today, we're seeing these wide receivers. Did you see Anthony Miller? Look at him right there blocking. Anthony Miller, Pritchard blocks, Miller blocks, Westbrook blocks. To be honest with you, I think what happened is Jerry Rice set the tone for wide receivers in making your game complete.
And John Taylor followed suit with him. Zimmerman is a tight end. Jamie Brown is in a tackle. Second and goal at the 1, and Elway tries a quarterback sneak, but it's not there.
Boy, Sterling Palmer got in there awful quick, like he knew it was even going to happen. The thing you have to remember with Elway when he's running the quarterback sneak, he and Randall Cunningham always did this. They'll take a step back, let it develop, and then slide into where no one is. That time, Sterling Palmer shot the gap, got through quick, and made the hit.
6:10 remaining in the first half. 7-3 the Redskins, but the Broncos are threatening with a third down and goal at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, I'd watch for Elway moving right here, trying to get outside.
And the give, touchdown to Rod Bernstein.
And that looks like what the Redskins were looking for too. They ran it right down their throat.
Rod Bernstein with his first touchdown of the year. Last year, carried the ball only 17 times. In 3 games, he was hurt.
That's just pure power.
Shades of Sam Bam Cunningham.
Yeah, they run that lead, they bring Habib around, and then they just power the left side of that defensive front.
Broncos regain the lead on Bernstein's touchdown, and Jason Elam with the extra point is good, and the Broncos lead it 10-7. Penalty flag is down, however. There's a flag down. There's Bernstein's leap over the line for a touchdown, and the flag will be against the Broncos, and they're going to have to re-kick.
Illegal motion, 99 offense. 5 yards, repeat the try.
Shane Dronette up front. So that'll move it back a bit more for Elam. He's moved into the lineup in place of Michael Dean Perry, and there you see up front on the kicking team. And Elam calmly kicks it through, and now it is 10-7. Bernstein with the touchdown. Number 10, Washington 7, under 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Here at Mile High Stadium, Rod Bernstein with a 1-yard run, capping a 73-yard drive. The big play was the 38-yard pass from John Elway to Bernstein to set it up. And now Jason Elam will be kicking off, and back deep is Brian Mitchell. He's got William Bell with him. That one kicked into the end zone and will be down. That's the first touchback for Jason Elam this season, and the Redskins will start from the 20. Well, TV Guide says the new Fox drama Strange Luck is cool and seductive. The X-Files couldn't ask for a better lead-in. Catch a brand new episode of Strange Luck Friday at 8, 7 Central, right before the season premiere of the X-Files. First 2 possessions for the Redskins. They had a long drive of 11 plays, missed a field goal, and then a touchdown. Here they start from the 20. Frerotte to throw on first down, and goes up the middle. It's tipped incomplete. Ray Crockett got his hand on the pass intended for Henry Ellard. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return again to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Hey, Dick, a salary cap decision that backfired on New Orleans. Ex-Saint Morton Anderson from 21 yards in overtime. His 4th career overtime game winner. The Falcons win it 27-24. Let's take you back to Denver, Dick and Matt.
And didn't you just know it that Anderson was going to win the game today?
As soon as they traded him, as soon as they let him go, you knew he was going to beat him.
2nd and 10 on the 20-yard line. Frerotte, swing pass, and Terry Allen unable to hold on to it. Isn't that amazing that, first of all, the Falcons always play well in the Superdome, and you knew that Morton Anderson would come back to haunt them sooner or later, and it was sooner.
Well, Jim Moore didn't want to get rid of him. That was one of those things that just happened. They thought they could let that big salary hang out there, but it did come back to bite him in the rear end. Frerotte, incidentally, last 2 plays. The first one on first down was a bad decision. The second one, he had too much air under him.
3rd and 10. Randy Hilliard, the extra defensive back in the nickel for Denver. Freratte's pass dropped. Westbrook started a run before he had possession, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, that's what I talked about. See, he has a habit of looking at the quarterback. He said in college he could always see the ball thrown. That's not the way it is in this league. So you have to focus and look up. The ball's going to be right there. And that time, he just didn't get the handle. Frerotte knew where he had to go right away. He had the protection. They came with the blitz inside. You know, he's been dropping a few too many for the caliber receiver he is. But remember, Jerry Rice did the same thing.
Lynn Milburn to return, and Matt Turk will kick. So this is not good news for the Redskins defense in the altitude. Going 3 and out is the last thing the Redskins defensive unit wanted to see. Fair catch by Milburn at the 39-yard line. And we'll take a break with 5:27 remaining in the first half. Back today's Aflac trivia question is, when was the last time the Denver Broncos were shut out at home? I don't think the next time will be today, man. I don't believe that will happen.
That's a pretty good hunch, Dick. You know, you're usually right on top of those things.
I just don't think it'll happen today.
Well, I'll tell you what, if the Redskins want to stay in this game, right now they're going to have to shut them down. Because that last, they had 3 and out. That hurts them.
Only 27 seconds for that possession. Best starting field position for Denver. The 39-yard line, and the first pass is caught, and a first down to Mike Pritchard.
Well, you know, you're throwing those outs. That means up front you're getting some pretty good protection. You see, Patton comes on the blitz outside. They got all kinds of time to throw that ball. And then Pritchard on the other side working on Tom Carter has really had a pretty good day so far with that hamstring. Ball's low and away where it has to be, and just touch him down.
On the 49 of Washington, first down Denver. And this is going to be Bernstein. Bernstein with a good gain of 6 yards, and everyone talked about Terrell Davis coming in, but Rod Bernstein, the veteran who was hurt last year and the former San Diego Charger, has played well. Patton and Green combined on that play.
Well, that's the thing with Darryl Green. You know, he's never going to disappoint you. You know, you have all these corners they talk about, like Deion Sanders and these guys who won't tackle anybody. But Darryl Green, not a big guy. He'll always tackle somebody. And you got a guy like Rod Bernstein, who's a big man, tough guy to tackle.
McCaffrey and Pritchard to the top of your picture on 2nd and 4. Elway to Davis. And Elway looked off the 2 wide receivers and found Terrell Davis. Single covered off the left side, and a gain by Davis of 17 yards.
Yeah, not a moment too soon, because Tony Woods was about to put the hammer down on the backside. He beats Broderick Thompson, and then he feels him, and he sees Davis, and then there's the hit from behind. But he looks to the right, draws the coverage, and then knows where his outlet is.
Knocked out of bounds by Washington. 3:54 remaining in the first half. On the 27-yard line, slipping and losing his footing is Rod Bernstein that time. And that will bring up 2nd down.
Dick, this is where that wall hits right around now. So you get that 3 and out, the 27 seconds, you were just on the field for a drive, and your defense is really starting to suck some wind. And the problem is, at 5,200 feet, there's no wind to suck. So you're kind of left out there on an island.
That's one of the reasons why the Redskins have also been shuttling in new defensive linemen.
Looks like they got man up top, and Anthony Miller's raising his hand.
2nd down and 8 on the 25. And here is Pritchard on the end. And he's brought down by Harvey.
What a great play by Ken Harvey. Fought off the block of Habib, stayed with it, got into the back pedal, and still made the play. I mean, those are things you just don't teach. You just have to have greatness to do this kind of thing. Watch Harvey 57. See that? Habib is holding him. He still has the presence to reach back and grab onto him and throw him down. Look at this. See the hold right there? Look at that. What a great play.
That's the defensive play of the game, and Harvey already made an earlier one in open field. A loss of 4 brings up 3rd and 12. Rod Smith, one of 3 wide receivers, lining up to the left. Elway fires, and it's caught by Miller. Anthony Miller inside the 10-yard line. Finally brought down by Darrell Morrison, and a pickup of 21 and another Bronco first down. Boy, did they improvise on that one.
Yeah, you credit John Elway on this, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to find Glenn Milburn, 22, and he's covered right away. And then he feels the pressure off the corner from Harvey. You just buy time with your feet, something Elway was born with.
And we're down to the 2-minute warning, and there is Miller on a comebacker. 2-minute warning with the Broncos threatening once more. Question: when was the last time the Denver Broncos were shut out at home? And the answer: the Broncos have never been shut out here at Mile High Stadium. So there.
I knew I hated coming here when we were playing. Well, there's the big reason. You got John Elway, you got a chance. Any place in the field, any time.
Well, Denver 111 passing yards, the Redskins 0. It'll be first and goal at the 8 for Mike Shanahan's offense. The drive started at the Broncos 39. Rolling out and looking. Elway fires. Look going for McCaffrey, but that was not Elway's best pass of the day.
Well, he had him, though, and did a great job by Elway. He looked at McCaffrey first, then he was waiting for Pritchard to come all the way across the formation, and so he fixed his eyes back inside, and that drew the coverage back inside, and then that opened McCaffrey up. You can see up top, Pritchard's going to come all the way across. Now, he looks hard back inside, and then that opens McCaffrey back outside. And that's just a poorly thrown ball. You know, even when he throws a bad one, it looks good, though. Guy never throws a duck. It's always a spiral.
Second and goal at the 8. Evans in motion. Up the middle to Terrell Davis. Touchdown, Denver. So many options for John Elway. And that time he found Davis with his first NFL touchdown as a receiver.
And Norv knows that that's a missed tackle. Rod Stevens, 99, sees this thing, reads it, he's in perfect position. You got to go make that tackle. Now, the other thing that has to be said is that Mike Shanahan is really calling himself a good football player.
Jason Elam's extra point is good. So it is now 17-7 in favor of the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, watch Stevens see. He has everything right in his eyes. He knows where the guy is. He sees it all the way. You can see Elway looking right at him. Man, you got to line that thing up with your nose and run right through Terrell Davis. He doesn't. Terrell scores.
The Broncos are really getting momentum going offensively, and so it is important that the Redskins offense does more than 3 and out as they did their last possession, because you can't have that defense on the field as long as they've been there.
Yeah, the other thing that has to be said is, see, the Redskins are not good enough to waste scoring opportunities. You know, they come down, they miss the field goal in the first drive, and really they miss an opportunity for a touchdown, and then you come back and you go 3 and out. You can't do that. They have to be able to get something on the board when you have a chance.
Want to remind you, coming up on the Dockers halftime, JB and Terry will have all the scores and highlights from around the NFL. That's all coming up next on the Dockers halftime.
What the heck? Howie got shut out. They got JB and Terry. Howie decided to get a sandwich at halftime.
See, the Broncos have never been shut out here, but Howie got shut out.
Howie got shut out, that's right.
You look at the drives today by the Broncos. 17 plays, 9 plays in 73 yards. Last one was 8 plays in 61 yards. That's a lot of time for the defense for the Redskins to be on the field. Elam kicking to Brian Mitchell. Mitchell returning, and Mitchell stumbles. Flag is down, and Mitchell is stopped at the 40-yard line by Alan Aldridge, but a penalty marker.
Yeah, they may call Scott Galbraith with a hold.
That was a 38-yard return pending the call by referee Ron Blum.
Well, they're chunking them on special teams. They're getting some nice blocking up front. And some nice holding.
And that'll bring it back. Redskins have all 3 of their timeouts.
38 of the return team, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, first down.
Darrell Morrison guilty.
Pete Rodriguez, a special teams coach. Very good special teams coach.
And the Redskins are a good special teams unit, and that's one of the things, even when you were there, that they prided themselves on, and they won a lot of games with coverage and returns.
And they'll continue to do that as long as Brian Mitchell's back there. You got a guy like that, you got to utilize him, and they're doing it.
So this series will start from the 23 instead of the 40. Mitchell in the backfield. Frerotte to throw. It's tipped and intercepted by Elijah Alexander. The Broncos linebacker picks it off. It was tipped by Dan Williams, and the Broncos get a big break.
Well, Frerotte had Henry Ellard wide open. And then Dan Williams just doing the old bull rush, and he's just throwing his face right in there along with Lodish. And then here he comes. Hands up. You can't do it any better than that. You push the pocket, and then once you clear, you get your hands up, and that allows Alexander to get the pick.
Only the second turnover forced by the Broncos this year. Atwater with an interception against the Cowboys last week. So Denver looking for more. They're on the Redskin 30. Elway's pass is batted in the air. Might have been Mark Boutte, and it was incomplete.
Did you hear that? Right at the last second, they yelled, Tony! Tony Woods was right there. All he had to do was have a little bit of awareness, and Boutte would have batted one right to him. Again, it's the same thing. It's an identical play. They go with the bull rush. You're not getting there. You get your hands up. Now watch, Tony Woods is coming around. Right about here, they yelled his name. Little bit too much. Maxwell Smart would say, missed it by that much.
Well, 2nd and 10 on the 30. Denver's controlled the ball in a big way today. And the pass to Terrell Davis. First down to the 15-yard line, and now you're seeing why the Broncos are so high on the rookie from Georgia. 15-yard gain with Carter making the defensive play, and Elway now comes off the field limping somewhat, and a timeout call.
Well, watch 96 Mike Flores. He's working right there on the tackle, and he just goes around and he just levels him.
But it was a clean hit on Elway, and you can see he's holding the muscle that was hurt, right?
Yeah, remember last week he got hit right on the rear end, and he said, anytime I get hit in the rear, that's a lot of hurt.
Because it's the biggest muscle he said he had.
That's what he said.
Bill Musgrave is the second quarterback, as the Broncos, Mike Shanahan deciding to alternate the backup each week. Hugh Millen was the backup last week against the Cowboys. Musgrave's turn today.
I like that Millen kid. You know, there's something about it that it just sounds right.
Well,
you know?
Hugh. You love the name Hugh, don't
Actually,
you?
that's my brother's name, Hugh Millen. Yeah, we were talking before the game, and no relation. Absolutely none. He told me he was lucky because if he was related, I'd kick his rear end for not playing.
Yeah, you wouldn't be related to an offensive player anyway, would you?
Don't be confused, Dick. My mother's maiden name is not Hugh. But my brother's name is.
First down on the 15. 1:19 to go. Terrell Davis with a quick opener up the middle to the 5-yard line, close to another first down. That was Rod Stevens, the middle linebacker.
Well, that's Tom Nail in the center in there, and then Mark Schlereth, and they're just blowing holes inside. And look at that block right inside on Rod Stevens. They just blew him right back. They blew the middle of that defense wide open.
Under a minute to play in the first half. 2nd down and 1. Here is Davis on the delay. First down and touchdown. He was over. He broke the plane. Oh, it was recovered by Washington and a touchback. Well, this will be an interesting replay to see whether Davis broke the plane before he lost possession of the ball. The Broncos are claiming he did.
Yeah, but the official already gave the signal. You watch Davis come through. Now he's hit, and the ball he has no control.
Did not have
That's
possession.
A fumble all the way, and Tom Carter comes up with it.
A big play for the Redskins.
Well, I mean, we see that, but the officials don't see that. So they're having their conference right now. But the guy who was waving his arm saying it was a touchback was 100% right. Because Marcus Patton comes over and knocks that ball loose before he ever crosses the goal line.
See, it'd be a fumble after you cross the plane with possession. It's a touchdown, but he didn't have it. He didn't have possession, lost the ball, and Carter with the recovery. Although the officials are still conferring. And now they say touchdown, and the officials are wrong.
Absolutely wrong.
The officials have made a mistake on this call without question.
Well, and being an old Raider, the thing that popped right into my mind was the Rob Lytle fumble that was right down here when Jack Tatum hit him. And they called that one a score, and that was wrong.
Do I hear the chance of instant replay?
If you did it, you're hearing it now.
So the touchdown ruled by Davis. Jason Elam with the extra point to make it 24-7 in favor of the Denver Broncos, but that should have been a Washington recovery and their ball, the Redskins on their 20.
Well, the paper is going to read that it was a tremendous run by Terrell Davis twisting and turning. What they won't talk about is that it was a fumble and he never got in the end zone.
How did that official on the other side support the touchdown call?
That's simple. He just turned into Schultz from Hogan's Heroes. I know nothing.
Really, there's no way, if you're on the line and that official on the previous replay will show that there is no way he could say that Davis had possession going in.
Well, Marcus Patton stripped it clear.
Nor did the umpire.
Yeah, the umpire's sitting right there, too. You know, Norv Turner knows that it's not going to make a bit of difference how much he argues or what he says. They already made the call. He could just tell him, look, you blew it. You know, lost in all that stuff was a great personal effort by Terrell Davis. I mean, the hole wasn't there. He spun back inside and created his own run.
That drive took 52 seconds, 4 plays on 30 yards. Out of position, Matt.
Well, you're going to watch. The official's going to be standing right there. What?
Here's the official, and he's standing right on the goal line. That's number one. Then the other
Official is standing right there. See him right here? I mean, heck, he can't miss it. Well, I shouldn't say that. He did miss it.
So it's 24-7 with 44 seconds remaining in the first half. Elam kicking off, and Mitchell catches it on the 2-yard line.
Boy, there's a big lane.
Mitchell still going, and the clock will stop with 37 seconds to go. The Redskins still have all 3 timeouts remaining. Randy Hilliard on the tackle, and that was a 38-yard return for Mitchell that time.
Let me tell you something. Brian Mitchell is 100% USDA man. That guy comes flying through the hole. He wasn't going to let that ball get kicked away from him. Did you see that? They tried to kick it away. He went all the way over and got it. He wants the football.
Well, I really like him.
He has kickoff returns so far today of 37, 31, and 39 yards. First down on the 39 of the Redskins.
Okay, babe, all right.
And he makes the catch, first down at midfield. A gain of 11, and the clock stops with 29 seconds to go. The Redskins have used their first timeout.
So what happens right now is Norv Turner has got to shift gears. So you just really have to give up the run game, basically. Well, right now in a 2-minute drill, it doesn't matter. You're going to throw anyway. But you're down by 17 points. So what you'd like to do is get 1 score before you go in. If you can get 1 score, you build a little bit of momentum going in at halftime, and you tell yourself, look, we can still score some points.
And the Redskins have demonstrated that they can score. Remember, they missed their first opportunity, an 11-play, 71-yard drive when Murray hit the upright on a 30-yard field goal attempt. And then the Broncos made good on a field goal. Redskins took a 7-3 lead, but then 3 straight touchdowns by the Denver Broncos. Want to remind you, coming up, the Dockers halftime, JB and Terry, scores and highlights from our studios in Los Angeles, in Hollywood. Actually. First down at midfield.
Hollywood. In Hollywood.
I hope Howie's around. Is he there?
He's supposed to be.
Frerotte steps up, has a lot of time and a lot of arm for Westbrook. Oh, he makes it! My goodness! How did he ever catch it against 2 defenders?
Did you?
45 yards.
I see it, and I still don't believe it.
Braxton was there. He also had help, but Westbrook went up and made the catch in traffic.
He had all kinds of time to throw, like you said, a lot of time and a lot of arm, and then he got a lot of Westbrook. You know, what the heck does that mean? Well, you know what? You can't explain it. Just take a look at what Westbrook does at the end of this play. He's working on Lionel Washington. There's a safety sitting back inside. Now he just kicks it in. And now watch this ball. This is unbelievable to me.
Braxton was ready to make the catch.
He muscled it out of there. Watch him just get in there and just steal that thing. Look at that. Braxton's there. Boom.
Block on Dan Williams rushing the passer. So Westbrook now with 2 catches and 71 yards. And a 1st and goal for the Redskins on the 5. 18 seconds remain in the half. And Washington, after calling a timeout, has 1 left.
And now you have to throw into the end zone. You can't throw anything underneath. And you're going to have to throw a bullet down here. You got 3 plays to score.
Frerotte. Double pumps. Throws. Touchdown to Mark Logan.
That was great patience by Gus Frerotte. He saw it. It wasn't there. He pumped. And he had the time to be able to find it. And then Logan sits down and there's the ball. And again, like I said, that ball comes on the line. Look at the blocking up front. A nice job by Giesick and Vernon Smith. Ed Simmons, outstanding job. And then the patience by Frerotte. See, he pumped it once. He kept on waiting. Patient, patient. Here it comes. There's the score.
Eddie Murray to kick the extra point with 11 seconds remaining in the first half. And the kick is good. So on a controversial touchdown by the Broncos, which shouldn't have been, Michael Westbrook shows why that he may be the best rookie wide receiver maybe in many years in the National Football League.
Absolutely. You know what he did on that catch? What he was able to do was use his big body. You know, and that's what he really has got to perfect. Art Monk did it for all those years, and there's some guys out there right now who can do it. He can do it as well.
24-14 the score with 11 seconds remaining. And Matt, when you said that the Redskins needed a score, they did, but when they got to the 5, they needed the touchdown.
Yeah, and here's the reason. Watch the body. See how he cuts his body in there? He just reaches out, and then, hey, he's 220 pounds. Look at Tyrone Braxton. He goes flying backwards. You know, you talk to Michael Westbrook, and he doesn't really have a sense of the game. You know, he told us.
Never watched an NFL game.
Yeah, I mean, the guy, he don't know the difference between Sonny Jurgensen and Sonny Bono. and that's pretty hard to do.
Or Sonny and Cher, which is Sonny and Bono, right? But you know what? He said he never watched an NFL game on Sunday, just watched cartoons. He said, I had no concept of what RFK Stadium was or the National Football League. He says, I didn't know. And
yeah, see what he's concerned about there? He has his chapstick and he's putting it on his lip.
You don't want to get dry out here.
No, it's tough. You know, you may not be able to make another big catch.
Eddie Murray, by the way, in all of the excitement, has made good on his 200th consecutive conversion. And a low kick bounding toward Glenn Milburn. Milburn returning and is tackled at the 28. Redskins are missing Muhammad Oliver, who was so outstanding in special teams the first week. Derek Brownlow making the tackle here with only 6 seconds to go in the first half. And not much Elway can do at this point as the Redskins silence the capacity crowd of 76,000 with a quick strike. 3 plays, 61 yards, and it took a little more than a half a minute for the score. And they're going to just kneel down and use up the time and go into the intermission with a 24-14 lead. So that is the end of the first half at Mile High Stadium. The Denver Broncos 24, the Washington Redskins 14. Not 2 quick touchdowns toward the end of the half. One a controversial one on the handoff to Terrell Davis.
Well, this wasn't a touchdown. It's that simple. And you can see Terrell Davis with the great effort right here, but Marcus Patton strips the ball. He has no control right there. It's out, clear. Now the official standing right in front of him, the umpire, Bob Wagner, is right in front of it, and then that's not really his call, but the side official, the side judge, he's got to make that call. And then the thing is, you can see the fumbles recovered. Now they go to a conference, and the conference is for anybody who has seen it.
How about this catch by Westbrook, 45 yards to the 5-yard line?
Well, we talked about big body. He uses it here, and then also desire. I mean, you got to want this ball. You got to want to go up there and get it, knowing you're going to either get blasted or you're going to make the catch. And Westbrook just shows why everybody's excited about it.
And the touchdown pass, after you look again at the amazing play by the rookie Michael Westbrook from Colorado, Mark Logan, and it was Frerotte who made the play to bring the Redskins to within 10.
Well, he had a lot of good time in the blocking up front. Nice job by Giesick and Vernon Smith, and then Ed Simmons. Now watch it. Once, not there. Pull it back. Keep going. Be patient.
You're just waiting for the linebacker to clear and Logan to sit down, and then there's your touchdown.
But getting back to the Broncos score, that was a bad call by the officials because they did confer. And even if it wasn't the main responsibility of the umpire, enough people saw that he didn't have possession. But that's history. 24-14 is the score at halftime on a beautiful day in Denver. And we'll be back after this timeout.
Fox presents a Simpsons Sunday Spectacular. First, see the season finale that shocked a nation. Then join John Walsh and celebrity experts for a look at who shot Mr. Burns on Springfield's Most Wanted. Then it's the mystery you've waited all summer long to solve. And you won't believe who the culprit is.
But I could never shoot someone. Could not.
As far as Daddy's concerned, you're both potential murderers.
On the season premiere of The Simpsons. It all begins tonight at 7, 6 Central on Fox.
With Jimmy Johnson, Howie Long, Terry Bradshaw, I'm James Brown. The game you're watching right now between Washington and Denver. 24-14, Denver. John Elway with a little magic. Controversial call certainly did hurt the Redskins in the first half in this one. Chicago and Tampa Bay, a battle of field goals in this one as the Bears hold to a 6-point lead, that at the half. Earlier today, Green Bay and the Giants. Dan Reeves looking pensive. You knew it was going to be a tough day.
Favre getting off to a quick start, finds Mark Ingram, corner of the end zone. Packers up by 7. Brett Favre on the day will throw his 7th touchdown pass. This one right here to Robert Brooks, back of the end zone, juggling catch. 7th touchdown pass on the year for Favre as he leads the NFL. Green Bay gets all their points in the first half. Giants will attempt an onside kick in the second half, will fail to get it. Packers going to win this football game 14-6 first time in Dan Reeves' career to start out 0-3.
And the Giants offense only 1 touchdown in 3 games. Detroit and Arizona. Yes, these two coaches asking who's going to win the first game this season.
Barry Sanders, look at this great run. Cuts to the right over pursuit by the Cardinals, takes it 47 yards as the Lions will at this point have a 17-6 lead, but that will not be enough. Craig, back in the end zone. There he is. Anthony Edwards, 24-yard TD reception. Arizona beats the Lions 20-17, and the Lions have to host the 49ers, the Browns, and then travel to Green Bay, and right now they are 0-3.
Garrison Hurst, 121 yards on the ground, and the fans were chanting for Wayne Fonk's head. St. Louis, 31-10 over the Panthers, 3-0 for Rich Brooks. Panthers struggling indeed. New England and San Francisco. Well, Parcells trying to keep it close with good defense. 49ers lead it by 4 at the half. Atlanta and New Orleans. You knew these two quarterbacks, Everett and George, would have a shootout.
Absolutely. You got to get up early to stop early. Quinn Early. There it is. Down the sideline, 70 yards. Longest TD reception of his career as the Saints jump on top of the Falcons, 7-3. Hayward, over, touchdown, down by 2, go for the 2-point, make it. Then in overtime, Morton Anderson, who last year kicked a winning field goal for the Saints, with 3 seconds left, kicks one this time for the Falcons as they beat the Saints 27-24.
3 division losses for the Saints. Oakland and Kansas City went into OT. The Raiders' 8th consecutive time. Al Davis, none too pleased either. San Diego and Philadelphia, well, there's a score right there. That was an overtime score. Chiefs winning it. Yeah, Ray Rhodes said, I want an effective quarterback. Randall was in the first half, but not on this play.
Yeah, that's right, JB. 3 touchdown passes by Cunningham. A good day. Calvin Williams on a reception. Gets hit, fumbles, stay out, scoops it up. First career return of a fumble for a touchdown for him. Philadelphia loses this football game 17-14 to the 27-21, I'm sorry, to the Chargers. A tough row, 1-2 though. Cunningham confidence may be restored.
Special team strong for San Diego. Andre Coleman, 208 return yards. Buffalo, not a good day by Kelly, but the Bills win it 20-14. Cleveland and Houston, not a particularly strong day by Testaverde, but a victory nonetheless, 14-7 over the Oilers. Seattle and Cincinnati, that at the half. Seahawks looking for their first victory, lead it by 10. Jacksonville and the Jets, boy, the Jets angling for their first victory, holding to a 13-3 lead at the half. And Howie, as I turn to you, my goodness, Denver gets a controversial touchdown, but one of a couple of controversial calls today.
Yeah, the Raiders lost. Let's rip some officials. Let's talk about the Kansas City game first of all. Closing moments of the Kansas City game. A down punt, looks to be on the 1-yard line. It's clear to me, it's clear to you, but there's 5 or 6 guys guys there, it's not real clear to them, okay? The closing moments of overtime, Hasty picks the ball off, rumbles some, whatever you said, 64 yards. I really don't want to talk about it. I'm getting over it. The official picks the receiver for the Raiders. Now, let's talk Denver. I'm over that. Let's talk Denver. Terrell Davis, an obvious fumble on the 1-yard line. Jay, being a D.C. native, I know this is near and dear to your heart. This game could very easily be 14-14 right now. Eddie Murray missed the chip shot. The fumble that should have been a fumble turned out to be a touchdown, and instead they're down at half.
Howie, should they bring back instant replay? Oh. At least for the Raiders.
Big crybaby. Brian Mitchell looked good.
Big crybaby.
Michael Westbrook,
my blood sugar gets low. My blood sugar gets low this time of the day. I get really irritable.
And Michael Westbrook, a star in the making. We'll come back to see if Howie has cooled off a little bit after this, but we'll probably go to your game first. More later.
At Mile High Stadium, 24-14, and an exciting, controversial last few minutes of the first half. Elam will be kicking off for the Broncos, and back deep for the Redskins is Brian Mitchell, who's already had a superb day with 3 returns, 30 or more yards. William Bell is back there with him. And it's a kick headed for Mitchell on the 2-yard line. Mitchell still going, and he gets tripped up at about the 25-yard line. A wild finish to the first half, Matt Millen, and you wonder whether the Redskins really were spurred on by that controversial call.
Oh, absolutely. Not only were they spurred on, they came out and responded right away. That's the biggest thing. You know, they had to get a score before the half. They went out and did it, and now they get their opportunity again by getting the ball. If they can come back and get something here, either 3 points or hopefully 6, if you're a Redskin fan, that puts them right back in it.
Halftime statistics. Time of possession favoring the Broncos, and so the Redskins can't afford 3 and out. First down on the 27-yard line. Here is Terry Allen. And a good gain on first down, and Allen may have a first down, and does. A gain of 12 yards. Well, Gus Frerotte has gone deep to good success so far today.
Well, you can see he's thrown underneath only 4 times in 15, but here's the kicker right here. Over 20, 2 for 3 and 70 yards. You know, and you talk about that West Coast offense that everybody's talking about. Well, the Redskins, they don't do that. They still like to throw the ball deep down the field.
And to that man particularly, number 82, Westbrook. First down, and Allen will lose a yard or so. Britt Hager penetrating the line, making the tackle.
Nice job again by Britt Hager. Now, Britt Hager, like I talked about him earlier, he's always going to make the play. He's always one of those guys who reads things real well, uses his body inside pretty well. That time they tried to pull the guard around. He just stepped up and hit it, made the tackle.
No gain. It'll be second down and 10. Frerotte 7 of 13 for 127 yards. In the first half, play fake and a fake screen. They got Logan with a blocker in front, and Mark Logan finds some open field and gets inside the 45-yard line. Tyrone Braxton making the play.
That's a nice job. They're going to fake the one side, and then Logan is going to hold, and then he's just going to come outside. Then he's going to just run over there. And then I got to tell you, Norv Turner, the second time I watched him, Norv Turner's calling a heck of a football game. Both these guys, Shanahan and Turner, they're really calling a good game.
John Giesick with a good block on that play for the Redskins. First down on the Bronco 43. A couple of fakes and a pass caught. And that may be Henry Ellard, and it is Ellard, the veteran, and a gain of 28 yards, and the Redskins are threatening to the 15-yard line.
Watch the protection, number 1, and then watch the patience. This is almost like the touchdown. Watch. He looks the safety off. Now he knows he has Ellard coming on the backside. So he gives the pump, and then that allows the safety to come over, Ellard to jump inside. Big first down.
3 catches for 54 yards, and that man, as well as Mike Shanahan, 2 fine offensive lines. Here's Allen, Terry Allen, inside the 10-yard line, and a good pickup on first down of 6 yards. Steve Atwater, the free safety, making the tackle.
Boy, that offensive line is really playing well right now. Big Ray Brown over there. Joe Patton, 68, was in for Lachey. Verna Smith, 61. She's 76. Ed Simmons, 63. Giesick. They're really giving a lot of time to throw the football, and they're also opening some holes for Terry Allen.
2nd and 4 at the 9-yard line. Here is Allen. And Allen picking up a yard or two. Dante Jones making the stop. Now the yards per rush, the Redskins 8.2 yards, Denver under 4 yards, and the Redskins continue what has been a fine start this year in running the ball.
I don't think the Washington Redskins' problem is offense, to be honest with you. I think right now they're as good as any offense that I've watched, save for maybe Dallas and San Francisco. They're right there now, throwing the ball down the field, running inside, getting their offensive line doing a good job of protecting.
3rd and 2. Frerotte, pass, and going over is Leslie Shepard, a touchdown.
That was all Leslie Shepard. That was all Leslie Shepard.
He had to get the ball over the plane, held onto it, and the Redskins score. And I'll tell you what, that controversial call really ignited this Washington Redskin team to score before the half was over, and now on their first possession of the second half.
Now watch Leslie Shepard right at the end. The ball's going to come in on a bullet. So he avoids what they're trying to do is pick. See, now look at that. Duck underneath, makes a miss, goes under Braxton, gets the score. They were trying to run a pick down there with Leslie Shepard, and Dante Jones avoided him. So then the next thing is just turn to look for the ball.
Eddie Murray will try to make it a 3-point game, and he does. And there is Leslie Shepard, who caught a 73-yard touchdown pass against the Cardinals. And Gus Frerotte with another TD pass brings the Redskins to within 3. The Washington Redskins with a quick score, and they used up 5 minutes of time, and so their defense getting a chance to get a breather, but it won't be easy against John Elway, who'll be coming out firing. Glenn Milburn returning the kickoff. Milburn looking for running room is stuffed at about the 20-yard line by Mark Logan, who caught the touchdown pass before intermission.
Now watch what they want to do is, you know, you have 2 yards. You're going to send your back out here. Leslie Shepard is trying to pick Dante Jones inside. Now when Jones avoids him over the top, that opens him wide open. So Gus Frerotte goes to his read, sees that it's covered, and then he just puts the mustard on this thing. Watch the arm strength. Boom, ball comes right in there. Then the rest is Shepard. Very well conceived.
Scott Turner opens up at cornerback here. Tom Carter getting a rest on first down. Elway with a lot of time and going up top for Pritchard, and it's knocked away, broken up beautifully by Darrell Green.
Lots of time, nice play action, and that was baiting by Darrell Green. He could get called for taunting and baiting because he was just waiting. And now watch the burst at the end. This is what your great players do. See, your great players have that burst. Actually, he mistimed it just a little bit, but he's just waiting on Pritchard and waiting on the ball, giving him that false sense of security, and then he closes right there.
By the way, the Broncos will be without Rod Bernstein, whose ankle injury has knocked him out of the game. Shannon Sharp left in the first half with an ankle injury. Here is Terrell Davis breaking off the line. Boy, you're so right, Matt, when you said that this guy was anything but a scat bat. He's got a lot of strength as a running back.
He is very impressive. I mean, they are really surprised that they got anybody in the 6th round like they got him. Looks like he's shaken up a little bit, too. But he just saw that thing, closed it off inside, boom, bounced it right outside.
9 carries, 48 yards, and a touchdown for Terrell Davis.
And that's talking to the trainer, and that looks like a shoulder. He's reaching up inside the pads.
Broncos have already lost Shannon Sharp and Rod Bernstein. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Quarterback sneak, and that'll be enough as Elway carries the entire city of Denver plus some Redskin defenders on his back. 5-yard gain on that play.
Boy, there's a great competitor. You know, when John Elway came into the league, he was one of those guys that everything happened so naturally for him, and it was so easy for him that it seemed to me that it didn't really click with him how important or how great he could be. And then, consequently, of course, with the Raiders, we learned to hate him very much. And then when I went up to San Francisco and played him in the Super Bowl, I realized, and it clicked, just how much he really wanted to win. And in talking to him, he said that was the maturity process.
First down on the 35-yard line. Elway. Pass to Milburn out of the backfield is caught. When did you know that Elway was as serious as he was in trying to get to the Super Bowl? You were in the game playing against.
Yeah, that was a Super Bowl in New Orleans against Denver when I was in San Francisco. Now the game was out of hand. It was from the start. But Elway took off, and I ran him out of bounds and knocked him down. And then as he was getting up, I grabbed him and pulled him in close to me, and I said, hey, hang in there, because good days are coming for you. And, you know, I could see it in his face because it meant something to him. And when it starts to mean something to a great player, you know the process is complete.
Second down and 6. Aaron Craver, who's forced into the fullback role with Rod Bernstein out, picks up 10 yards. And a Bronco first down close to midfield.
Well, that left side of that offensive line is really doing well, and you can see right here in the possessions. They got the field goal, touchdown, half. Heck, halftime's the only thing that stopped them.
You know, getting back to Elway and talking with him the other day, he really feels he's got a shot and wants to not only get to a Super Bowl, he wants to win one. He says getting there is one thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, he says he empathizes with Marino. He wants to get there, and he wants to win.
Flag is down.
And that's going to be offside by either Sterling Palmer or Ken Harvey. One of those 7s moved inside.
Craver on the carry.
You know, the interesting thing, that Super Bowl, Dick, you know, we're getting ready to play, and I always had this habit of going to the quarterback and asking them how many points they could get us. And prior to the Super Bowl, I went up to Montana.
97 defense, 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
And that was Sterling Palmer. I went up to Joe Montana. I said, Joe, how many points can you get us against this Denver defense? He said 100 if they let me. And so I related that story to Elway, and John said, that doesn't surprise me. That week in practice, Gary Kubiak and I, we threw 5 touchdown passes against our defense. He said, I came back to the huddle going, oh, we're in trouble.
And they were. First and 5 at the 46 following the penalty against Palmer of the Redskins. Fake draw play. Elway is going for Anthony Miller, and it's knocked away by the penalty marker down. Scott Turner pushed off on Anthony Miller with his left hand, and the Broncos will get first and goal.
I want to see this call because he was making a play on that ball. He turned back and looked and played the ball. And that's why I think they're having this conference. Turner's in good position right here all the way. Stanley Richard coming over from the top. There's a little bit of bump. Now he's looking to play. That is a horrendous call if that is against Turner.
It appeared as if he pushed off, but that was a nudge earlier, and then this was a clean play.
Foul on the play.
There's no foul. They called it off. That's a good call. And on the other end, John Elway, who had lots of time to throw this thing, gets just drilled by Ken Harvey on the other side.
That's going to hurt his muscle on the back. Or, huh?
That big muscle.
Going deep for Miller, who caught 3 touchdown passes against the Cowboys last week. So it'll be second down and 5.
I'll tell you, the left side of that offensive line for the Broncos is really playing very well. Schlereth and Zimmerman.
Elway with the drop and the pass knocked away. Davis, and that'll be a foul called against Stevens. Rod Stevens, he might have gotten his left hand that time on Terrell Davis, and that'll be a first down automatically for Denver.
Yeah, they call a hold
on Davis
against the Broncos. Let's see the numbers they give.
So Mike Shanahan right about now is going to start to get a little upset as James Washington is slow getting up for the Redskins.
Holding 76 offense. 10 yards. Repeat second down.
That was on Broderick Thompson. So 2 calls, 1 not going against the Redskins and a penalty on the Broncos here.
And you're going to watch Thompson 76 right here. He was working right inside net. You got him all the way. Look at that thing. He just latched onto him. Good call.
An outright hug. Washington left the game, and maybe for only one play. Keith Taylor replaced him. Already Jim Lachey lost with a shoulder injury in the first half. There's Taylor. And Bernstein and Shannon Sharp lost to the Broncos in the game. 3 wide receivers up top, 2nd and 15. The pass is batted in the air and incomplete, and William Gaines got his hands on that one.
You can see where Elway's throwing the ball today. A lot of his stuff is underneath. He's going 8 to the wide receivers, and it's still that West Coast flavor that they're talking about. You can see the wide receivers, but they're mostly the short stuff. Now, he did have the one deep one. And they talk about this offense with Mike Shanahan and then, you know, bringing it from San Francisco and all that stuff. And it looked like early that they were about to click.
3rd and 15.
Now it looks like they're on their heels a little bit.
Elway out of the shotgun, being rushed by Gaines, and is downed. And a tackle made by Sterling Palmer. And that may be only the 2nd quarterback sack of the year for the Redskins. Gaines picked up one last week.
You watch Sterling Palmer right here, and then Gaines inside 95. They run the twist on outside. They bring him around, and then Palmer, who's held by Thompson, does a good job of getting back up and then making the play.
So the Redskins force the Broncos back, and now Tom Ruin will be kicking. Brian Mitchell deep for the Redskins. Fine high kick sends Mitchell back inside his 10. Brian Mitchell chased by 2 Broncos. Brian Mitchell with another sensational return. No penalty markers down, and that's his best of the year. 53 yards before Britt Hager brought him down in Bronco territory.
I got to tell you, I think that the Redskins got away with a couple of hits in the back.
I believe it.
That will go undetected. The first one's going to come right there, down, and then here's the other one on Elijah Alexander, and then Tim Houck right in front of him. Vanderbeek and Bell, they'll push them in the back right there, and that opens the whole thing up. And then Mitchell just does his job. But then in the commercial, Mike Shanahan was livid, and he was screaming at the head linesman, and they got into a pretty good argument. You can see right there, and all they were saying is just call what you see.
First down on the 42-yard line. Terry Allen.
Boy, that kid's good.
Allen gets by a defender. What a big run by Terry Allen, who's coming back strong in his first year after being with the Minnesota Vikings. A gain of 22 yards before Britt Hager sends him down, and the Redskins are threatening to take the lead for the 2nd time today.
Now, what Terry Allen does is he just hesitates just a little bit right before he gets to the corner and then allows the guys to overrun him. And that's just instinct, and that's just running with feel and gut, seeing everything.
Allen, 77 yards on 11 carries, and gets the call this time, and he is stuffed by Steve Atwater, forcing the play from the secondary.
Now, if you're going to stop the run and you have got to use your safety, Steve Atwater's the guy you want. I mean, Atwater is really a small linebacker, and they're going to walk him up. You're going to see him right here. He's just starting to sneak. He sees the whole thing. He's just coming up. Allen trying to hold everybody inside, then bouncing it outside. Atwater sees the same thing that Terry Allen sees. Well, he's a player.
5-time Pro Bowler, 2nd and 10 at the 20. Logan went in motion, and the pass overthrown, intended for Westbrook. And that'll bring up 3rd down. But the Redskins trailing by 3, and Brian Mitchell today has amassed a total of 185 return yards, including 52 yards on the last punt, which, by the way, went 59 yards. You don't often see 50s both ways in a punting situation.
Well, whenever you have Brian Mitchell, you're going to see a lot of stuff that you don't normally see. And again, he's in the game right now. He's in there for a reason.
As is Titus Winans in motion, number 83. 3rd and 10. Frerotte pass. Flag down as Ellard was defended by Lionel Washington, the ex-Raider.
And I think they got Lionel Washington because he slapped his hands together right away. You know, that time they bring Mitchell in, and you know what they did with him? They left him go man-to-man in the blocking scheme. Watch Lionel Washington.
48 on the defense. 5 yards, first down.
Yeah, he got him. He passed the 5-yard, and he got the bump, and they saw it all the way. Lionel Washington, who I played with the Raiders for all those years, still can play. Still a real good man-to-man guy. And Mike Shanahan made an effort to go out and get him because he gives them something that they didn't have.
Following the penalty, first down on the 15. Here's Terry Allen up the middle, and Allen getting to the 5. Close to another Redskin first down. Brett Hager again on the stop. And Allen now over 80 yards rushing coming into the game with 180 yards in 2 games, including a big effort against the Cardinals in the opener with 131, and that's what he has today.
Well, he's running very well because I think right now that offensive line of the Redskins is starting to take over the line of scrimmage. And this was a fear that the Broncos had, that their size would not be able to hold.
2nd and 1. Allen will have a first down to about the 3-yard line. Atwater making the tackle. What the Redskins have done, Matt, here in the second half is they've given the defense here in this altitude a long chance to rest, so they ought to come back strong, and they're playing better in their own right.
When they're also gaining confidence. You know, that offensive line is really picking it up. John Giesecke's pulling out there to the left. Ray Brown battling people down inside. I'll tell you who's really playing well right now is Joe Patton, 68. I mean, he came in there and hasn't missed a beat.
And remember, Trey Johnson didn't suit up today. First and goal at the 3-yard line. And here is Terry Allen. And he may get nothing on that play. Keith Burns coming up and making a big play defensively.
Well, again, they're right inside the red zone, which has been plaguing them. You can see they're down there. They got 2 touchdowns today. And this is the best that they've been all season in terms of production. And the earlier one, go ahead.
I was going to say only the 49ers have gotten into the red zone more than the Redskins coming into this game.
Well, they're going to get an opportunity here to see if they can put it in again.
2nd and goal, Terry Allen.
Nice play by Dan Williams.
3rd and goal. He had help from Atwater.
Yeah, watch Dan Williams. This is a guy that they hope can really be something special. You're going to watch him right up here, number 90. Because what he has is really good strength. And you can see right here, he just runs right through the block of Joe Patton.
3:15 remaining, 3rd quarter. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 3. And a fade to Westbrook, touchdown! No, he's out of bounds.
That's a bad call. Tyrone, no, that's 39 is Ray Crockett. He went up, caught the ball, and then he forced him out of bounds. You have to allow the receiver to come back down inside. Let's see if that's the case. Ball's in the air. Watch Westbrook go up. There's the pylon. Now he can come down. See, he forces him out. That should be a touchdown.
Yeah, he was in play when he made the catch and had a right to come down with the ball. Crockett pushing him out of bounds. But it is ruled no catch.
1 foot in, that's a touchdown. I got news for you. Another blown call by the officials.
So the Redskins have to settle for a field goal as they attempt to tie it up. 20-yard attempt by Eddie Murray, and the kick is good. So Eddie Murray with a field goal with 2:52 remaining in the 3rd quarter to tie it up at 24.
In the end zone, and this is a touchdown. What I want you to see is 1 foot comes down, and then Ray Crockett forces him out of bounds. And that, see, the defender can't take you out. You have to have the opportunity to come in. See that? 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Crockett doing the pushing. That's 6 points. Now, here's the other thing. See this official down here? That's the same official that Shanahan was screaming at, telling him he blew the call. So I'm going to tell you something. Mike Shanahan just bought himself a call because he saved himself, his team, 4 points.
And arguing worked.
Absolutely. It always does.
Lynn Milburn on the return and ridden down at the 31-yard line by Darrell Morrison. But the Redskins, with the field goal, have scored 17 unanswered points to earn the tie with 2:43 remaining.
In 19
remaining 3rd quarter, tied at 24. Mike Shanahan earlier arguing with the back judge.
And you remember right there he was saying to the back judge, look, just call what you see. That's all I want you to do. And then later on, Westbrook gets up. Now it's the same official. He bought himself 4 points. You know, sometimes you do a great job of making a call in the game, and then the other time you got to work those officials.
That was Al Jury, the back judge. First down Broncos on the 32. Davis in motion. Elway pumps once. Still looking.
Got a lot of room to run.
Flag is down. Penalty marker down as Elway runs and gets into Redskin territory. Before Ken Harvey trips him up, and a gain of 23, but they may bring it back.
Yeah, that one's coming back.
Nullify that effort and run, and Elway said, look, if I'm going to run 23 yards and do all that, let's make it count.
Well, instead of 1st and 10, he's going to have 1st and 25.
Holding. 65 offense, 10 yards. Repeat first down.
Gary Zimmerman, the veteran tackle who's acquired from the Vikings a couple of years ago.
You can see him right down here. And he's going to be going against Mike Flores. Works inside, gets the hands up, good punch. All right, I'm still waiting for the call. Guess what? I don't see it. It's a bad call. It's a nice job by Zimmerman.
We've been saying that a lot today.
Yeah, they picked a bad day to call a bad game, right?
1st and 20, back on the 22-yard line. Elway screens it out to Davis. And he is hit hard by James Washington, who's back in action and hitting hard again. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio. JB.
All right, Dick, Chicago's Anthony Marshall having himself quite a week. Blocked the punt Monday night against Green Bay. Does one here today. This time he carries it to pay dirt. 11-yard score. Special teams are shining. Chicago on top, 22-6. Back to Dick and Matt.
And a game the Bears need badly after losing at home to the Packers Monday night.
Against a much improved Tampa team.
2nd down and 14. In motion is Evans, the tight end. Elway underneath to McCaffrey. And that'll leave him about 7 or 8 yards shy of the first down with 1:20 on the clock. And this game summary is brought to you by Coors Light. We have over 500 total yards. Elway having a big day throwing. Injuries to Shannon Sharp and Rod Bernstein. And Gus Frerotte has brought the Redskins back at one time trailing 24-7 and are even 24-21 with 2 touchdown passes and an Ed Murray field goal. Here comes the blitz on Elway. They pick it up. Elway's pass by McCaffrey. And it'll be short of the first down. Oh, no, it is a first down.
Well, I'll tell you, James Washington is playing a heck of a football game today. That guy, I'll tell you, he sees the same thing that Elway sees. He sits back there in the safety, and then, boom, he shows up with a bad attitude. Well, I really like him. I really think he's helped this team a lot. You know, he doesn't run great. So sometimes you have to watch the coverages you're in. But what he brings besides that is you can't measure. Because he's done wonders for the secondary and their confidence, and he's also brought a nasty attitude, and that's what he really needs.
Yeah, he's vocal and he's a spirit, and a good man to have at RFK Stadium. And a timeout has been called by the Redskins with 4 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Well, let's tell you what's on tap next Sunday. Fox NFL Sunday, the slate of games next week, and we have a couple of beauties for you. The Minnesota Vikings against the Steelers, the Cardinals, who won today against the Dallas Cowboys, and the full lineup beginning with our pregame show at 12 noon. Second half of our Fox doubleheader, Cardinals and Cowboys from Dallas, and the Eagles go out to Oakland. We'll be back in your own stomping grounds as the Raiders take on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I haven't been there since 1981. The last game of the season against the Bears, which you called.
That's right. I happened to be there, and if I had known at the time, I would have come down and say, I'll see you around in a few years.
Yeah, sure you would. Right. I think I remember that game. You said, what a stiff that 55 is.
He ought to be up in the booth.
Yeah. Well, there's one guy who's no stiff. And, you know, you've got 4 seconds left, so this will be one play, and they'll go to the end of the quarter. But right now, they're a little bit out of sync.
First down on the 42-yard line of the Broncos. And Aaron Craver bowls his way to a first down into Redskin territory, and a gain of 15. Scott Turner makes the tackle, and that is the end of the third quarter with the score. The Broncos 24 and the Redskins 24. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local Fox station. First down for the Broncos, and that was Aaron Craver diving to the 40-yard line. Dick Stockton and Matt Millen. It has been a shootout here, and a tie score coming into the final quarter.
I'll tell you, this guy right here, Tom Nalen, is really playing well. And then Brian Habib has a nice block. Those inside three, but that Tom Nalen and Mark Schlereth, 69 right there, they have been playing very, very well. Not only today, but the whole season. In fact, I think that Nalen's as good as any center I've watched.
High praise. 2nd and 5 at the 39. Elway with a lot of time, and the pass to Pritchard incomplete, and he was hit immediately by Rod Stevens.
You know, now this is a case of where your defense, you know, has time to throw. Your defense is reading the same thing the quarterback is. Now Rod Stevens is eyeballing that thing up. Did you see how he broke before Pritchard ever got the ball? That's just good defense and good anticipation.
And a Bronco is shaken up. Let's see if it is Pritchard. It is. Remember, he was injured last year with a lacerated kidney, but we have had a whole slew of injuries today. Jim Lachey went out early with an injured shoulder and was replaced well by Joe Patton. Then Shannon Sharp hurt his ankle. X-rays proved negative, and then Rod Bernstein went out with an ankle injury, and now Pritchard is shaken up. Remember, that's not the Golden Dome. We're not in South Bend. The Broncos have a 3rd and 5. Smith has come in at wide receiver, goes in motion, and we may have a false start.
Somebody forgot to snap the ball. He turned around and said, I thought you said 3.
I thought you said he was one of the best centers. He is a fine center.
False start prior to the snap. 69 offense, 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
On Mark Schlereth. Here's Pritchard when he went down and had to be taken off.
And Rod Stevens is going to drive through him. He comes right down on that knee. And you never know. I mean, they're looking at the knee. He came right down on it. Hopefully it's just a bruise.
It is exactly that. Bruised left knee, and he's questionable as far as his return. There's Jim Lachey.
And that's
in street clothes.
Yeah, and that's a rotator cuff that he's got, because it was bothering him all year.
Lynn Milburn in as an extra receiver on 3rd and 10. Out of the shotgun, the shuffle pass to Milburn. And Milburn is short of the first down by about 3 yards.
Well, did you see Sterling Palmer? He knew what it was. He just couldn't react quick enough. And you got a guy like Glenn Milburn. I mean, he's tough to know. Watch, he's going to come right off the side, and then he knows what it is, but he just can't do anything about it. Look at this. He's right in between. Glenn Milburn is just too quick. He's got too much of that fast twitch muscle fiber going.
And the Broncos are going to go for it on 4th down and call it a 2, but it is a long 2.
Oh, I like this.
2 for 2 on 4th down conversions coming into this one.
Now they're going to try to jump.
And a timeout is called. They try to draw the Redskins, but they were ready for it, and they did not budge. So the Broncos used their first timeout of the second half.
And now for something new. It's Cooking with Terry and Howard.
First, you need to get a very large bowl.
Watch John Elway's head. And this is actually illegal. Watch the head right there. See how they bob that head? See, that's movement, and that can really draw your defensive line off. If you don't believe me, ask Howie Long. And that used to drive us nuts, because Howie was so quick off the ball, and any slight movement that you see, you pick it up peripherally.
Play, huh?
Yeah, and then boom, you just jump offside. Incidentally, they're still going for it on 4th and 2.
Out of the shotgun this time. Elway passes out, incomplete to Craver, and the Redskins will take over on downs. And that was a pass that
got away from him.
Yep. But that's the 2nd time today Elway has thrown a pass like that.
Yeah, he knew it right away, too. See, the pass rush came right up inside, but he had Craver out in the flat, and it was going to be, you know, muscle with Craver versus Darrell Green outside, and as soon as he threw it, he knew it was a bad one.
So with a minute and a half gone by in the fourth quarter, the Redskins take over on downs, tied at 24 with the Broncos. They're on their 37-yard line. And a play fake, Ferrotte's pass, and it's nearly intercepted by Steve Atwater as he cut in front of Michael Westbrook.
That's a nice job by Westbrook, and that's exactly what Atwater was telling him. You see at the end, Westbrook did a good job of turning into the defender and knocking that thing down and not letting him get the interception. They're running the zone. They're running him across. Now here comes Westbrook. Watch this good job at the end. See, he sticks his hand in there. He's not going to let him make that pick. That's a nice job by Westbrook. And Frerotte has lots of time to throw, but right at the end, he loses his footing when he takes that front step.
Hand off to Allen. Yard maybe 2. Rocket and Fletcher, or Hager and Fletcher on the play. Lights are on here at Mile High Stadium. The 198th consecutive sellout for the Broncos. Only the Washington Redskins have had a longer string of sellouts. RFK Stadium. Both these teams are looking to the road after this game. The Redskins will play 3 of the next 4 on the road, and the Broncos have 3 in a row away from Mile High after this game. 3rd down and 6 at the 40-yard line. Ferrotte's pass, and it is caught with Elijah Alexander all over Henry Ellard. When Ellard made the catch.
Yeah, that's an interesting spot. And the official right there, number 12, is right. See, because there was no control by Ellard. There was a fight going on between Alexander and Ellard, and he ends up right where they have the ball right now.
Now they're short of the first down, but if you look at the official on the far side, it's right on the sticks.
Yeah, well, he's giving him another bad call because this official down here is right. He did not have control. All right, now they moved it back. That's a good call.
As long as they correct it to the right call, that's all right.
It's a nice job by Elijah Alexander. Almost came up with a pick, and then Henry Ellard had enough presence to grab that thing and pull it in.
Matt Turk kicking for the 2nd time today, and Glenn Milburn back deep for the Broncos. Just under 12 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, tied at 24. Had a scoreless first quarter and no scoring so far in the few moments we've had in the fourth.
Dick, remember the last time these two guys played, I think in '86, it was a 31-30 game. Same kind of game.
They're resetting the play clock. That's Scott Turner, double teamed on the coverage play. Milburn. Oh, that's going to let that one go, and it's going to go deep into the end zone and out. A booming kick by Matt Turk of 56 yards. So when we return, the Broncos and John Elway go back on attack from their 20. In the huddle for the Denver Broncos after being shaken up and leaving the field the last time Denver had the ball. Look at this. Total yards dead even, as is the score in this game.
That's just coincidence. I know they didn't plan that.
First down on the 20. Elway to Pritchard, and the catch is made at the 30-yard line. Just shy. Well, he's on the mark. It'll be close to the first down. Tom Carter defending on the play, and Carter has done a fine job, remember, with that hamstring strain, playing a good part of this game.
Yeah, you should see the cat and mouse game going on between John Elway and James Washington. Washington walking in and out of that 8-man front, giving him a different look. See how he walks up? Now he sees, now he's going to walk back out, and then they go to the audible, and then at the last second he walks back up again. Then he does a sneak again, and then Elway finds the opening.
2nd and inches.
Yeah, that's good football.
Play fake, and Elway drills it, and the pass caught by McCaffrey. Boy, how valuable has Ed McCaffrey been today on that underneath pattern for Elway and the Broncos? A gain of 19, Carter covering.
And how well has this offensive line done for the Denver Broncos? Very good job inside. Give them all kinds of time. That allows Jerry Evans, the tight end, to go straight down the field and clear that out. And then McCaffrey comes in from the other side for the big reception.
5 catches, 57 yards for McCaffrey after being shut out last week against Dallas.
Well, I am really impressed with the way both these offenses are running.
On the 48-yard line, swing it out to Terrell Davis, and he is ridden out of bounds by Marcus Patton.
He is a find. Terrell Davis is a good football player. Now, he does a lot of things well. He stays in there and he blocks. He's really good inside the tackles. He has the speed to get outside, and then he catches the ball well. I think the Broncos got themselves a steal, Terrell Davis.
We said 196th pick in the draft. That was on the 6th round, and he wasn't even their first pick on the 6th round. He was their second. 2nd and 5 on the draw, Terrell Davis, and he's got a first down. Churning yardage up the middle to the 40-yard line.
And did I forget to mention power? You know, the guy has a big, strong, you see him from the legs, and he's a real thick guy down below. He's about 205. They list him at 200. He's a little thicker than that.
Davis comes off the field to cheers. Meanwhile, the Broncos continue to hurt with their weapons. Anthony Miller has a concussion, and it's doubtful whether he'll return. So Shannon Sharp, Rod Bernstein, Pritchard, who came back into action, now Anthony Miller, all knocked out at one time or another. First down on the 41 of Washington. Elway with a swing pass, and he overthrows Milburn.
Tim Johnson came clean. Boy, he came right up the middle. And he put a nice little dunk right there. You're going to see him go here and then back up right inside. So he goes with the arm under and then right to the arm over on Nayland. And that's a nice little hit right there. Tim Johnson, they have to have that more consistently out of Tim Johnson. You got to get that every play. You see Anthony Miller on the sideline.
2nd and 10. 9:24 remaining in the 4th quarter. Elway, slant pattern, Pritchard, and he's hit immediately at the 35 or 37, shy of a first down by a couple. Tom Carter, who wasn't expected to play, making the spot. But look at the key injuries, particularly to the Broncos, with Shannon Sharp, Rod Bernstein, and Anthony Miller. Lachey went out early with a shoulder injury, and you say it may be a rotator cuff the way it looks.
Well, and the thing you have to be impressed with is the guys who've come in are all playing well. I mean, they're still moving the ball right down the field.
3rd down and 2. Craver in motion, and Elway on a quarterback sneak, and he did not make it.
He got stuffed.
And it was Rod Stevens and Marcus Patton, the 2 free agent pickups from Seattle and Buffalo, respectively.
I think he got squat. I don't think he got anything.
Squat would mean nothing, I would think.
The old goose egg, yeah. That time, Elway didn't take his customary backward step. He just took it and tried to bull his way in there. He thought he was Terrell Davis.
He's going to that well once too often today. 4th down, going for it again.
Well.
4th and 2. Last time it didn't happen.
Coming this way.
And a handoff to Terrell Davis. He is going to be one of the best running backs. Everyone who has seen him play, and really helping the Denver offense. Gary Zimmerman with great push up front and a first down.
Well, that's why they have guys who carry the ball they call running backs, and then the other guys throw the ball they call quarterbacks. When you need to have it, heck, you give it to the guy who does it well. Terrell Davis is doing it very well. Does a nice job of following the blocker around. See Schlereth 69 and Zimmerman. He just gets on Zimmerman's back, and then he just bowls his way right up inside.
Redskin player is shaken up. And it is Tony Woods, the defensive end. Timeout. Nottage has replaced Tony Woods, who left the game. It'll be first down for the Broncos on the Redskin 26. Tie score at 24. Here's Terrell Davis. He got tripped up that time. Otherwise, he might have had the first down.
Yeah, and they still continue to go back behind the left side of that offensive line. Schlereth 69, 65 Zimmerman, and then Nail in the center. They're really doing a very good job.
Besides the 67 yards rushing and a touchdown, Davis has caught 5 passes for 50 yards and a touchdown. So he's had a big day today. Rookie from Georgia. 2nd and 4. Here's Kramer. Kramer finds a big hole up the middle and bursts inside the 10-yard line.
Boy, Mark Frerotte is just blowing major league holes in there. I mean, he just took his guy and just blew him right out to the left side.
All right, Matt, former teammate of yours with the Redskins. Let's check the Millen file on Mark Schlereth.
Well, the first thing you can see that his strength has returned. You know, he had a disease and he lost it. And he's a very quiet leader. He's a guy who leads by example. And then the thing is, he's a really big piece of the puzzle for the Denver Broncos. I mean, they got him and they got that left side completed. I think that's a big-time pick for them.
It'll be 1st and goal at the 10, and Elway coming off and calls the timeout. And Terrell Davis is shaken up. He has been the meat and potatoes, and it looks like his helmet strap is stuck. So the Broncos are forced to call a timeout. That is their 2nd of this second half, and so they're left with 1. That's a costly timeout for Denver.
Yeah, it is, and that'll come back and get them. But, you know, Terrell Davis is having a lot of success inside today because of number 69, Mark Schlereth. Remember a couple years ago, he had that Guillain-Barré disease, and it's a disease that kind of starts low and works its way up. It affects your nervous system. And he was at 295, and he went all the way down to 230. And then he tried to play last year, didn't have his strength at all. And some people, they can't walk after that. And here he is 2 years later, and that's why I say his strength has returned, because he's where he was 2-3 years ago when he was blowing people around.
Booker Moore, the fullback many years ago out of Penn State, had the same Guillain-Barré disease.
Yeah, and that was the end of him. I mean, Booker, I played with at Penn State, and he was a #1 pick up in Buffalo, and then, heck, he never even played.
What did you call Schlereth when he was at the Redskins? Any nickname?
Yeah, we called him Stinky. We called him Stinky because he's an Alaskan, native Alaskan, and we nicknamed him that from the old stinkheads, the delicacy that they have up there, the rotten fish.
I hope that's the reason. 1st and goal at the 10. Kramer off the right side, inside the 5-yard line, and the former Miami Dolphin running well as a reserve for Rod Bernstein. Picks up 7 yards, and Stanley Richard making the tackle.
You're going to watch Stanley Richard and your safety. You know guys are coming in for you. Ed McCaffrey, first you have to get rid of one guy, and then you get ready to take a jolt. The thing at safety, you get a lot of times you're able to give good shots because you can see it all coming. And then other times, you just have to be the guy who's the safety. Just don't let him get further than you.
2nd and goal at the 3. They go to Kramer again, and he gets down to the 1-yard line. So Kramer has gained 48 yards on 6 carries today. And you can see the signal from the Broncos. That's how close they are from getting over for the score.
Well, if they keep it on the ground, don't be surprised if they run it behind Nalen, Zimmerman, and Schlereth, because they've been beating that left side to death all day long.
Winding down to 5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter, tied at 24. That's how far the Broncos need to go for a touchdown. 3rd and goal. And Davis doesn't get over. Now they signal touchdown. Had to be a 2nd effort, and tell you, that's all this guy has delivered today. Terrell Davis, his 2nd effort for the Broncos.
Well, then just take a wild guess. Where did he run behind? You got it right there. 69, Mark Schlereth. You're going to see they're just going to power the game right here. They're going to come right at you. There's nothing about it. They're going man up. They're giving a fullback to Kramer, and then a nice job by Habib. And then Kramer, all he does is just give 2nd and 3rd effort.
That's the 3rd touchdown of the day for Terrell Davis. Having a big rookie year so far. Jason Elam's extra point is good, and the Denver Broncos, after the Redskins scored 17 unanswered points, go 80 yards on 13 plays. 3rd touchdown for the rookie running back from Georgia, and it's now 31-24 in favor of Denver. And let's take a look at next week's schedule. The 4th enters from Oakland.
The thing that impresses you about a guy like Terrell Davis, he's a rookie, and he runs out there like he's been doing it for a long, long time, but he's just a kid. I mean, he gets out there, he's in the locker room the other day, I'm watching him. has a baseball bat in his locker. First thing he says is, heck, I don't even have my name on my locker. And then he's trying to hit the baseball. Who's pitching it to him? John Elway. So Elway says to him, let's see if you can handle this one. Davis stands in there and he throws it and hits him right in the head. I got a kick out of that.
And these fans are getting a kick out of the Broncos coming back to take the lead. 4:53 remaining in the fourth quarter. Elam with a kick, and it'll be Brian Mitchell. He's had a sizzling day today for the Redskins. Mitchell finds some room.
He's still sizzling.
And there goes Brian Mitchell, and Jason Elam knocks him out of bounds. The kicker, after another great return by Brian Mitchell. He has had, this has to be his greatest game in the NFL.
I think he should write a book, and it should be entitled How to Take a Crowd Out of the Game in One Easy Play by Brian Mitchell. And here it is. All you do is just follow your block, and that's a great job by Bell, 36 right there. And then the guys up front did an outstanding job. And then at the end, look, I'm going to tell you something. Remember I told you USDA man? And he's not stupid either. He knows he's not going to go out of bounds. He's going to drill the kicker.
56-yard return by Mitchell. And a first down on the Broncos 40-yard line. Here is Terry Allen going outside. And whistled down by Britt Hager.
Yeah, Britt Hager. There you go. That's another one of those plays he's been making all day long. He sees the thing opened up. He's just doing the same thing as Terry Allen's doing. He's reacting, and then he's going to see the hole, fill the hole, and then make his cut. It's the same thing. I'll tell you what, most good linebackers make pretty good running backs because they see the same things. They usually don't have the same foot speed, but they have the same reaction.
Second down and 11. Brian Mitchell having a tremendous day. Kick and punt returns. And Frerotte gets sacked. And making the play was Keith Burns. That's the second big defensive play he has made for Denver.
Nice call by Craig Robinson, the defensive coordinator. He's going to bring both inside linebackers, and he's going to force the running back to make a decision. Mark Logan. See, Logan goes right there, and then he doesn't stay with them. You got to face that up. Burns does a good job of seeing who's blocking them and then running to his shoulder because you attack half the man. See how he does that? Attack half the man, run right through it, you get a sack.
Third down and 19, back at midfield. Frerotte dumps it off to Brian Mitchell. Mitchell fighting his way to the 35-yard line, and that'll leave the Redskins about 5 or 6 yards short.
They're going to go for it, I'll bet you.
Steve Atwater, that's a 15-yard gain, and Atwater makes the stop as we have nearly 3 minutes remaining, and the Redskins still have 2 timeouts in their pocket.
And they're going to go for it. And you watch number 30, he'll be a big part of it. He'll either make a big block in the backfield or he'll make the play.
4th and 5. Pass caught, and let's see, they may have a first down to Coleman Bell, and it is. The Redskins on 4th and 5 hit backup tight end Coleman Bell. Elijah Alexander riding his back, and it is a first down for the Redskins.
Yeah, well, the first thing you're going to see is protection. And who's standing in there? Everybody, great job, manned up all the way across, and then Coleman Bell beats Alexander. That's not a flag, see? That was a mouthpiece.
That's smaller than a flag.
Just a bit.
On the 29-yard line. Frerotte steps up. Great catch that time by Westbrook. As we get down to the 2-minute warning, Michael Westbrook with a 20-yard catch. His second great reception of the day, and we'll be back to Mile High. What a thriller.
A lot of poise, and it's easy to have it when you're getting this kind of protection. Look at that offensive line. See this right here? Look at that. Nobody around him, and a nice job by Patton. And then at the other end, I want you to watch Michael Westbrook go up and get this ball. See, when that ball's in the air, he's saying, it's mine. That's great hands.
He started at Colorado, and he said, I'm not from Denver. The fans will be against me here. But he has come in with a big game. 3 catches, 91 yards for Michael Westbrook. And it is first and goal for the Redskins on the Bronco 9.
Dick, this just reminds me of when I was a kid. Look, I'll be Al DeRogatis.
And I'll be Kurt Gowdy.
You be Kurt Gowdy.
These kind of games, Matt. Chased by Williams, and Ferrotte's pass incomplete.
Nice play.
And a good thing he got rid of the ball.
Well, they're trying to set up a screen with Terry Allen, but a great job by James Jones, number 93, the nose, of seeing that thing and sniffing it out. Watch James Jones, 93. He's right here. They start with this thing, and then something's wrong. See, he's blocked at the line of scrimmage. Something's up. So he just follows Terry Allen right out there, and that just foils the play.
2nd and goal. With 1:54 on the clock, the Redskins still with 2 timeouts remaining. Frerotte dumps it off to Logan, and Logan gets to the 1-yard line. Dan Williams making the tackle on Mark Logan, who caught a touchdown pass just before halftime to bring the Redskins to within 10.
Well, they want to throw to the end zone. Watch Frerotte. He's looking downfield the whole time. And then right at the end, you just dump it off underneath because you know you always have that. And then the other thing you have with Logan is the ability to cut back underneath, which is what he did.
What a great offensive show we're seeing today.
Oh, all the way around. This is a great football game.
3rd and goal. And a play fake. Frerotte. Touchdown! Scott Galbraith, and the Redskins come within 1.
Dick, they wanted to go to Logan in the flat, but Lionel Washington did a great job of getting the jam, and then he held them, and then Frerotte does an outstanding job of going to his 2nd look. This guy is so impressive, it's scary.
24-year-old, 2nd-year player, and only his 6th start, and he is matching slingshots with John Elway, the master, at age 35. And it's Norv Turner's play calling and Mike Shanahan's play calling, and it's been a masterpiece.
It does not get any better than what we're seeing right now.
Eddie Murray to tie the game. And the kick is good, and with 1:07 remaining, and that's enough time for Elway. The score is tied at 31.
Minute 7, you kidding me? Heck, he could have dinner and still win this game. I want you to watch Logan's going to go out. Now watch 48 right down here in the bottom of your screen. See how he holds him? Right there. Got the hand right on him. Now Galbraith comes across the top. And a nice job by Frerotte of waiting, the patience in the pocket. He has the protection. Find your 2nd receiver.
3rd touchdown pass by Frerotte, and the reaction of Galbraith, the former Dallas Cowboy. And he caught one against the Cardinals in the 1st game of the season at RFK. Now this man, Frerotte, has shown tremendous poise with Heath Schuler out of action with that sprained shoulder.
Tell you what, this guy's shown tremendous poise also. And Norv Turner is calling a heck of a good football game, as is Mike Shanahan. I mean, I think when both these clubs went out and said, we're going to bring in an offensive guy because we want to get some firepower going, they went out and got Norv Turner, then the Broncos went out and got Mike Shanahan, and they got exactly what they wanted.
Glenn Milburn is back deep, and Eddie Murray will kick off. 1:07 remaining. The Broncos have 1 timeout remaining and a tie score at 31. That kick into the end zone, and Milburn will down it there.
Boy, he had second thoughts, didn't he?
Yes, he did, but Rod Smith said just knee it, and Elway will start from the 20.
Yeah, but you like to see that. I mean, I'm glad I saw Milburn saying, give me it, because that tells me there's a guy who wants to make something happen with pressure. And here's another guy who absolutely loves pressure. In fact, they should take his name off the back of his jersey and put pressure on it.
Well, if there's ever been a quarterback in recent times who have engineered more dramatic comebacks, it's been number 7 for the Denver Broncos. And he's in that position again, although the score is tied. 1st down at the 20. Elway's pass is caught by Terrell Davis and knocked out of bounds about 2 yards from a 1st down. The Broncos, believe it or not, have struggled against the NFC in the last 4 years coming into this season. 6-13 as opposed to their dominance over their own conference.
But this isn't the same team. This is the better football team. I'm very impressed with this offense as well.
2nd down and 3 out of the shotgun. Elway drills it. And a great catch by McCaffrey. He's been doing that all day. Hit by James Washington and a gain of 18.
Boy, that is a great play by Ed McCaffrey. There's so many plays here, it's unbelievable. McCaffrey knows he's got to go up. He knows he's exposing himself, and he knows he's going to get drilled. That ball's way too high. Watch this thing get up there. Now he knows he's going to take a shot, but he just goes up and takes it like a man.
And the Broncos, because of the injury, are forced to take a timeout in the last 2 minutes. And you remember when Denver had to take the timeout because of the helmet on Terrell Davis, which you said would come back to haunt him, and it has. It may have, let's just say that. Because that is the last timeout by the Broncos.
See, now you have to be careful defensively if you're the Washington Redskins. Because now you want to play your zones. You don't want to get into any kind of matchup game. But you have to squeeze them down. Now watch the hit. Nice clean hit, shoulder hit. The league won't say a word about it. And McCaffrey goes up, lands in his head, and he knew he was going to get drilled. And so the touchy area now becomes, how tight do you play your zones? Because if you come up too tight, they're going to throw behind you. And Elway will make it work. And the other thing is, when you're running in zones, Elway will buy time with his feet. If something's not there, he'll roll out, and he presents more problems because all he's doing is working the gray areas of those zones.
Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator, also keep in mind as McCaffrey slowly gets up that the Broncos have lost Anthony Miller to a concussion, Rod Bernstein with an ankle injury, and Shannon Sharp in the first half with an ankle. So the weapons are slowly slipping away for the Broncos. Meanwhile, waiting in the wings on the sideline is Jason Elam, who is used to kicking long field goals. And there you see, very fine percentage of 6 for 10 from 50 or more yards.
Dick, you know, if you would have to name an MVP of this game, I wouldn't even know where to start. You got Elway, you got McCaffrey, you got Terrell Davis, you got Gus Frerotte, you got Brian Mitchell.
291 all-purpose yards for Mitchell.
Yeah, you got Michael Westbrook, and you got no defenders. This is either great offense or horrendous defense.
And no timeouts left either for the Broncos. Elway's pass to Davis.
Oh, nice play by Darrell Green. Darrell Green knew what he had to do. He couldn't let him get out of bounds.
5-yard pickup. Remember, the Broncos with a hurry up with no timeouts left and a half a minute remaining. Trying to get in field goal range. They go underneath. That time to Milburn.
Well, that one surprises me. I thought they'd try to go outside. You're down to 18 seconds.
They're going to try to stop the clock right here. And they do with 15 seconds to go. They're on the 44-yard line. And they're going to need some more yardage for Jason Elam to even attempt a long one here.
Absolutely. You're looking at a 60-yarder. Okay, so what do you do defensively? Right now, because you're down to 15 seconds, you got to make them, A, stay in bounds. The second thing, you got to come up and get a jam and force that timing off of your route. Now, what you can't account for is number 7. Number 7 will take off and buy the time.
But they have no timeouts remaining, so if he runs, he may not be able to get anything going after that.
Well, I don't think he's going to run. If it's not a quick pass, see now, watch, he's going to make it happen. Right through it out of bounds.
Brown wanted an interference call on Darrell Green against Rod Smith. They didn't get it, and now 11 seconds remain in the fourth quarter.
Did you see what Darrell Green did, though? He knew it has to happen, so he jumped up real quick and got the real tight coverage. So if that ball is going to come anywhere, it's going to have to be a perfect pass.
They're going to have to go about, what, 8 yards or so, or 9 yards, to set up what would be the longest kick that Elam has kicked in his career. It'll be 3rd down and 10 on the 43 of the Redskins. And the pass to Pritchard. Oh, complete. Pritchard trying to dive, and it's incomplete. And Tom Carter, a courageous defender today, playing with a strained hamstring, covering on the place.
I'll tell you what happened. Oh, he dropped his coverage. I mean, he was very, very lucky. See him looking back to the safety, saying what he's going to do. He pushes him outside. Now you got to get depth. You have got to get depth. Pritchard is able to get outside. That's the weakness of that defense. Elway saw it right away, and he's hot.
6 seconds on the clock. It'll be 4th down and 10.
Either throw to the end zone. You let everything happen in front of you. They won't be able to stop the clock.
And hope for an interference call.
Let him throw underneath.
Elway firing to Smith. And the Broncos win it.
Unbelievable! What a throw! What a catch!
Rod Smith forced into the game with injuries to the Broncos receivers with a miracle catch, beating Darrell Green and Stanley Richard for the winning points. And the Denver Broncos have won a thriller here at Mile High. John Elway thread the needle.
What a great play by John Elway with the arm. I mean, this is just all poised. You got nothing to lose. You have to throw to the end zone. And then to let this receiver get back to your safety, you can't do that. I mean, that is just completely wrong. Let him down, stay with him. Darrell Green on him. Look at this play. Watch Smith. Look at this. Unbelievable. That's a great football play.
And John Elway's reaction, and we talked about his comebacks and late game surges in the past. 43 yards for the touchdown to Rod Smith, who makes his first catch of the year. One for the memory books. And the disappointment etched on the face of Gus Frerotte, who grew up as well today, but that's not going to taste very good for a while for the Redskins. The extra point by Elam is good, and the final score here at Mile High Stadium on the last play of the game, the Denver Broncos 38 and the Washington Redskins 31. Big win for the Broncos, heartbreaking loss for the Redskins.